Let me okay, let me turn this phone.
The Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. Listen here, this is a fact of life. I be rapping like Nat Turner came back to life. Grab Donald Trump by the pussy, he ain't acting right. I never run from a conflict, I be glad to fight. It's a very cold world that we live in. Somebody please tell Elizabeth you're not an Indian. You just trying to con them people to get the benefit. Just another immigrant, stealing from the Indians. That's some punk ass shit and that's too lame. Now we finna step over to Andrew Yang. And you a sucker, you could never speak for black folks. Fake ass pandemic, trying to get the black vote. The Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. You know your boy be high off sativa. Kamala wasn't popping, so we said bye, Felicia. She ain't had a right policy. We ain't trying to meet her. Y'all can take Biden too. Bye. We don't need him. We don't need Roland Martin or that coon Al Sharpton. Didn't need Cory Booker from the start, man. I don't fuck with police and no snitch. You know I'm coming with the heat when I spit it. The Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. If you ever go to court and this is your luck, try not to get fucked by Benjamin Crump. I know it's hard. You and I go is hard. But who the fuck is Amy Cloak? Put her picture up on the bullseye and start throwing darts. People cut our organs out our bodies, that's a stolen heart. They can't save us from the flood like Noah's Ark. Black lives always matter, we finna go for ours. So then we savages, we don't need to pot the piss. Mike Bloomberg can suck dick with that stop and frisk. You ain't speaking for us, we don't know you. Bernie Sanders, and get your funky ass on too. The Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me.
I'm talking about shout going crazy. People going crazy in them motherfuckers. Run that shit back, man.
But it means nothing. Nothing about a woman on a day. Man made the car. Man made the train to carry the heavy load. Man made the electrolyte to kick us out of the dark. Man made the boat for the water like the 7 Man thinks about a little bit of baby girl and a baby boy. And man makes them happy because man makes them joy. But after man make everything we can, do you know that man makes money? To buy from other men. This is a man's world. But
Greetings. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Frontline Black News. I'm your host, Chan Krumah. I'm joined with my other host, Lady Shay. She's behind me. She's real sick, so she's gonna be kind of in and out. And our West Coast correspondent, Shabaka Sankori, is Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, which I'm the co-executive producer and co-host of. Greetings, Shabaka, from the Mile High Income City. How about those Gators?
Man, later for you in a Pony Express, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, at least we're happy about one thing. Kansas City lost tonight.
Yeah. So we need them to lose the rest of their games. Need you all to lose the rest of your games. Need San Diego to lose the rest of their games.
In other words, you need a miracle.
Well, that's what we're praying for out here in Sin City.
Well, that's your logo anyway. Just win, right?
Yeah, and then we also too have acquired the Oakland A's, soon to be the Las Vegas A's.
Oh my God!
Yeah, so I got a loved one there in the Bay Area who called me up, cussing me out, saying, man, what's happening with you? Was saying, what's happening with you all out there in Las Vegas, man? Y'all got the Raiders, got the A's. What are we going to do? They asked, what are we going to take next? The Black Panthers, you know what I'm saying? And I told them, well, you know, they had over 30 chapters throughout the whole U.S.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yeah, Denver, Chicago, New York, New Orleans, Louisiana, Seattle, Washington, Los Angeles, California, definitely New Orleans, definitely there in Philadelphia as well, too. Say, because as you know, Philadelphia, Detroit, you know, those were all hot spots in the late 1960s. And then, of course, that no good ass Wilson Good, who's going to bomb a whole neighborhood, you know, and they dropped a bomb on the movement. That was, I think that was around the time. Yeah, that was around the. What year you was born again, Brother Che?
87.
Okay, yeah, 2 years before you were born. Yeah, I was younger than you when that went down.
Yep.
Yeah, see, which is really sad. So, you know, it is what it is, sir. You know what I'm saying? And also, too, we are also alive on the Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced on our like page. We did share the feed.
The like page and the group.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's cool, you know, and what have you, man. And I think the Warriors won tonight, man. You know what I'm saying?
Tonight, so.
Okay, well, you buckets are not gonna repeat, man. See, for you all,
we are gonna repeat,
man. For you to get up there in the league, for you all to get up there in the league with the Lakers and the Celtics, man, and the Warriors,
what I recall,
sir.
Roll out on y'all.
Sir, y'all only had y'all so far as just a flash in the pan.
Y'all got swept in the playoffs. The Lakers.
Sir.
The Warriors.
The Lakers is a dynasty. Warriors is working on to be a dynasty.
We just beat the Warriors not too long last week. What are you talking about?
Okay, wait a minute. Isn't the NBA? Wait a minute. The NBA was still in preseason then, right?
No.
Okay, wait a minute. Because I think the regular season starts in October.
We're a good month into the regular season.
Okay, well, we still got 6 months to go, man. You know, the NBA is one of the longest seasons, man, of any professional sport. Oh yeah. I think baseball, man, has got the basketball season beat out, man, because at the time that the baseball season starts that's when the basketball season is ended. Then the football season is just in between, you know. So we need you bums to lose the rest of your games. This is the miracle. You bums lose the rest of your games, you know, get locked up in a barn, have more
contending teams.
Man, you get locked up in a barn, man. Eat oats, man.
Oats is giving us horsepower, and we running all over these clowns.
Man, horsepower, man. You buying referees, man. You know what I'm saying?
We ain't buying nothing. Stop it.
Man, the referees of that game right there, they need some of these right here. See, they need some of these. This is bifocal.
Just that game, Shabaka, it's been like that all season long.
Man.
Okay,
right.
Sorry, Shabaka is derailing us again, like last night. We got to get back on topic. So, this is season 3, episode 33, part 3 of the Frontline Black News. And we were discussing topics we didn't get to on part 1 and part 2.
Okay.
That is Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is spending $500,000 to study reparations for Black Chicagoans.
Right.
That brain dead, ass scratching yes boss, Mark Robinson, the Lieutenant Governor of North Carolina, has some serious issues.
Okay.
Former Baltimore Prosecutor Marilyn Mosby found guilty of federal perjury. That's the one.
Oh, no, not her. She was the one, man, that brought them dudes down that killed Freddie Gray.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
A Georgia politician is removed from the Board of Commission.
Okay. Is that their dump supporter?
No, it's a sister.
Okay.
Cop City protests tear gassed activists in the face.
Wow.
RICO and domestic terrorism charges.
Mm-hmm.
Neo-Nazi hate crimes hit $1.2 million judgment.
Okay.
And Shapiro and Candace Owens are fighting over Israel. And,
man, to hell with Candace Owens, man.
Ben Shapiro threw Candace Owens under the bus.
Man, I could care less.
Right.
I really can. I could care less. You know?
Yeah,
so you see. See, there we is live right here at Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced like page right there. Yeah. And also greetings there to the Arena Uncensored and several other platforms.
Yep. Yes, we are. We're streaming on 8 different platforms. 8 different platforms, yep. Shout out to the viewers. Y'all tapping in. Make sure y'all like.
Most definitely. And be sure to like and subscribe to the content here. And also, definitely check out Shabaka's Black Experience coming up Tuesday night, 6 p.m. in the West, 9 p.m. in the East, 7 p.m. in the mountains, 8 p.m. in the central Great Lakes area. And what we're going to be talking about is the Voting Rights Act of 1965. And as Brother Paris had pointed out right here, you said it has to be ratified every 25 years.
Yep, along with the 14th. I believe it's the third. It's either the 13th or the 14th Amendment has to be as well, or the 15th. Okay. I'm thinking of the 15th Amendment. Yeah.
Okay. All righty. Okay. All right. So we're gonna stay on topic tonight. So we'll be discussing the rest of that on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, coming up in the next couple of days. Okay. And then to please keep the hate mail coming into our chat rooms over there at Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. We really do love the hate mail because that means that we are getting somewhere.
It's not even in this queue. God damn it. Okay, I gotta pull up a video.
Right.
I thought it was in this queue, but it's not in the queue.
Okay, who is it?
Brandon Johnson.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the mayor of Chi-Town. Yeah.
About
Okay, and also too on a live feed,
One of
man.
the
We're at about a 6-second delay into the live feed that we're doing on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, and here it is right here. See.
I'm about to go through my history real quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then we had 1,600 followers on the like page of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced.
We should have more than that. We should have 6. Yeah. We got 1,000 overnight because I shared it out to like 3,000 people.
Okay, but I'm talking about on the like page of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced.
That's what I'm talking about, Shabaka. I shared out the
Oh, okay.
Like 3,000 people.
Okay, all righty.
All right, so here it is. I found it. So we got Mayor Johnson spending $500,000 to study reparations for Black Chicagoans. To hell with a goddamn study. Y'all know what the hell y'all did. Y'all know what the hell you continue to do. Just cut the goddamn.
Right. Yeah. You know, take that 500,000, man, and start making some payments on it, man.
This is just more. This is more stalling tactics from the Democrats.
Yes, sir. That's precisely my point. You know what I'm saying?
Like every time I bring it up to the Congressional Black Caucus here in Colorado, they come with that same shit. Oh, we need to do a study. Y'all know what the hell y'all.
Man, what's there to study, man? Shit, man, them fools better go study some basic bookkeeping and some disbursements on some checks.
Right?
That's what they need to study. You know.
All right, so I'm gonna let the video play. This is from Uncle Phil Scott.
Okay.
African Diaspora News Channel.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to fast forward because he got this little ad about traveling to Africa or Tanzania. I guess I could play it.
Oh, okay.
From the Real South Africa Travel and Tourism. You're going to have the opportunity to travel with Phil Scott to
sunny South Africa. You guys are going to have the opportunity to come to Johannesburg, and you guys are going to be coming to Durban. And we're going to set it up perfectly. It's going to be like a luxury experience for you guys. At the same time, you're going to be getting some culture. And of course, you're going to get an opportunity to talk to Phil, hang out with Phil, and get his views on Africa and South Africa.
You're also going to get an opportunity to explore the lifestyles here that are available in South Africa. And we're going to do all that for you in an amazing 10 days. We do hope that you go to the website and book because we do look forward to seeing you here.
Absolutely. Our website is therealsouthafrica.com. Go there, scroll down. You'll see a picture of Phil and just go ahead and book there. So we'll see you here in what we like to call sunny South Africa.
And then, of course, okay, this is Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced.
Looks like the city of Chicago, or Chicagoans, I should say, they're going to be getting $500,000 allocated to a study for reparations. Now, let me expound upon that just a little bit. Of course, you guys know what's going on in the city of Chicago, where about 20,000 migrants or more have gone to Chicago or been sent to Chicago seeking asylum. And it is said that by the end of this year, Chicago would have spent $361 million trying to
$361 million.
That migrants are housed at police stations, the airport, even, and a whole host of other places. Well, Mayor Brandon Johnson said, well, guess what, Black people? You guys are going to get some of the first money spent next year for the 2024 budget. The money will be $500,000 allocated to a panel to study reparations.
Lord, here we go.
To study reparations. God. So what Mayor Johnson is doing is just recycling the talking points of HR 40 bill. Y'all know the one that's on the federal level where they're going to study reparations to see exactly what Black Americans that are descendants of slavery, what they deserve, right? It's all a bunch of BS, if you ask me, because you will spend $361 million on people who should not be there but you're going to give a funky little $500,000 to study reparations? Well, if you ask me, and you didn't, but if you take that money that you spent on the migrants, and you take the money that you want to have a panel, and they said the panel will meet for about a year, so you're going to spend that money for people to meet for a year to say, do they deserve it or not? Well, let's see. So y'all could take all that money, and then y'all could divvy it up and just give it to Black people, Black Chicagoans, at the very least, and say, hey, are you a descendant of slavery? Why, yes, I am. Here you go. Here's a check. But no, they want to play these games and, talking about we going to study and this, that, and the other. And it's like, when are they going to stop playing in Black people's faces?
Right.
Because that's what they're doing. That's what Mayor Johnson is doing. He's thinking, let me throw them a bone since they done complained all year long about us moving the migrants in their neighborhoods and getting the resources they should get. So we'll just say we're going to give them a study, right? We'll do this big old pomp and circumstance. And so Black people will be happy because they know back in the day, we'd be happy for that. Oh, we getting study for reparations. They working on it, y'all. Well, how long has slavery been over? It's been over. I'm talking about the physical slavery. I ain't talking about the mental slavery. It's been over since 1865. What else do they need to know? Right. What else do they need to know about Jim Crow and, the stuff that we're still enduring as Black people in America? But see, they like to play these games with us, but we are waking up. That's the beautiful thing. Right. We're waking up and we're pushing back and we're like, no, we don't want you to form a committee. What we want you to do is formalize some checks and send those out to us. But see, y'all ain't asking me, but I'm telling y'all, Mayor Johnson, he needs to go.
Yep.
He needs to go. He ain't been there that long and he playing all these games. And then he also wants to spend $5 million to try to help house inmates that are coming home and help find them jobs.
It's from
Chicago.
Chicago.
You don't need to form no committees for that. Just give them the money. Give them the money so they can go find their own housing and food and all that other stuff. And yeah, you can get some little job programs and stuff because it is hard for people, especially if they have felonies, for them to find jobs. So you can do that. But stop playing games, Mayor Johnson. Right. Nobody is believing it. Black people aren't as silly as you think we are. Now, y'all gonna get mad at me for this. Were Black people just a little silly for getting you up in there? Yeah, just a little bit. But it's not just the Chicagoans that do it. We as Black people, we do that everywhere. We vote for Black people just because they Black. Auntie Maxine, she's been in office for 5 million years, reclaiming her time. How long you gonna take to reclaim your time? When are you gonna stop reclaiming your time and actually do something for the people who sent you in there? Yeah. So I'm kind of glad that this kind of stuff is going on because it is opening the eyes of Black people. But I'm sad that it's going on too because, again, those Black politicians, and we know the white ones do it, but we're talking about the Black politicians. They get up in there, we're going to make sure that Black people have A, B, C, and D, and get up in there and say, well, I know what I said, but this is what I'm going to do, and y'all going to like it, and too bad if you don't. We're starting to see them for who they are. So hopefully Mayor Johnson is a one-term mayor, and if y'all can, people of Chicago, try to get him out of there a little sooner because I know recalls are expensive, but I'm just saying, if I was y'all,
they need to be recalled.
I would, think long and hard about that. But yeah, they want to allocate $500,000 to a reparations study. So anyway, y'all tell me what you think of that. And for more insightful commentary, please subscribe to this channel and my channel, The Demetri K Show, here on YouTube.
And be sure to subscribe to Frontline Black News and to Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced as well, too.
That's right. So, thoughts on this? I think it's bullshit.
Oh, absolutely, Brother Che. That's exactly what it is. And what that clown is doing, man, he's pacifying it. And what they're going to do, man, they're going to do the same crap like they're doing in California, where they're just going to drag it as far as they could go, man, because as you know, the presidential election is an election of significance every 4 years. So this clown, man, is probably saying this here to pacify the people of the city of Chicago to vote Democrat again. You know what I'm saying? For the upcoming election. You see?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so that's exactly, what that is right there. You see? And
they're next election, 2027.
Yeah. No, but I'm talking about, they're just saying all
for 2024.
Yes. Yes, sir. So what I'm saying is, if anything, man, this trick is going to be used as a pawn. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know,
time.
yeah,
He's a big
yeah,
Democratic
and
Shapiro.
this,
He's a big
yeah,
Democratic pawn, just like the rest of
yeah,
them members of them liberal cities, like Denver.
right,
They
yeah,
just had a meeting last week or the week before
mm,
last. They all met up with Biden to discuss the
mm-hmm,
migrants, and
yeah.
now they
See,
want to give. Now Denver want to give them one-way tickets out. Oh, now you want to get rid of them? Remember,
yeah,
we could take as many as need be and all that.
and then look at this here, brother Chase. See this here? This here is the belly of a slave ship. And the reason why I'm putting this up is because this is for all the people who said that we was already here. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nobody. Well, I'm not saying that we didn't come on slave ships. I'm just saying the numbers are a lot lower
Okay.
than what we were
Okay,
taught.
but keep in mind though, brother Che, you know, to support your premise, more so is that we had circumnavigated the globe, man. You know what I'm saying? Before that drunken bastard by the name of
Yeah.
Columbus
So then,
decided.
when you say that, Shabaka, then you're proving or agreeing with my premise, which was we were already here. And
Okay. Well, actually, what we have here, brother.
That came before Columbus.
Okay, that's Abu Bakari.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in the Americas, as well as
yeah.
Renoko Rashidi. Rest in power.
Okay. Yeah. Now, okay. Now, also too here too, brother Paris. There is some information in this book right here. Okay. That's written by the one and only Mr. Lerone Bennett. You know what I'm saying? And he does talk about it. Yeah. So when you and I have our show on that, man, I got a whole lot of reading to do, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This right here. Let me see. Oh man. Definitely, this right here. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because, we've given, the world brain surgery, man, all kind of stuff, man. All kind of stuff. The Memphite age, man, yeah, Lord. There's a whole lot of reading right here. I'm going through oh, no, these is illustrations. Okay, I'm just going here through the index of names. I'm looking for Shabaka right here. Okay. Semin Kara. Okay, let's see, Seti the first. Yeah, in other words, man, and so I got a whole lot of researching to do, on the subject here, Brother Che, is because what it is, man, is that when we get these guys, who was that dude, man, like he was a Joe Gibson collaborator. Yeah, trying to sit up there, man, and tell us our history. So the next time that cat comes on there, I'm just going to ask him what his ethnicity is, man. And if he ain't black, yeah, I'm just going to have to ask him straight out.
He's a straight up troll.
Yeah. But that's okay, Brother Che, because we love our hatred. We appreciate the hatred of our viewers and haters, and definitely, keep the hate mail in the chat room. And, and we'll sit up there and we'll amuse ourselves, with the ignorance that comes through there. Yes, hey. Now, it's too bad, man, that we have to do this here with some of these brain dead individuals, man, and this is the 21st century. You see.
No matter what year we had to deal with brain dead mob. No matter what year it was. How many of us have gone cold and accomplished that and waged back in our own in the ways? Because it's
and
the multifaceted war that we are in.
Right.
The point of it is race is first.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Skin color, that's your assigned uniform.
Right.
And according to Nelly Jr., That is your assigned uniform. So you're in a war whether you want to acknowledge it or not. It's
pretty much.
That been in the room that everybody is tiptoeing around and acting like ain't there, but it's definitely there, but they don't want to acknowledge it. That's why the new racism is the denial of racism. White supremacy.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there is no other racism.
Right. And then the sad part about it is, what is so sad is that these individuals, man, you know, who denounce their African heritage, man, it's really sad. It's like the imitation of life, you know what I mean? If you ever saw those films right there, you know, where the girl hated her own mama because she was black. But the thing that I find incredible is that all these other groups hate us so much, but yet, though, why do they want to have sex with black people? That's the part that gets me.
Well, the master and the mistress, same thing on the plantations, but so.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. That's what all that nonsense. Yeah. Okay, all right, Brother Paris. You know, folks, is having some technical difficulties. Okay, so. When that happens, you know, we try to keep the show going on until it comes back on. You know, we might have had a connection problem and what have you. So, yeah, this is definitely StreamYard, Frontline Black News on StreamYard and what have you. And definitely check out Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. That's coming up on November the 22nd, I believe. No, November the 23rd. Okay. As in tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Wait a minute. But anyway, it's next Tuesday. Okay. It's next Tuesday. And we're going to be talking about the Voting Rights Act in 1965 and the ramifications on it as well, too. And feel free, you know, to go over there, you know, to pull some of our past episodes, leave us a comment, you know, good or bad, you know, definitely direct all the hate mail to the chat room. We'd be more than happy to read it for you and whatnot. And debate with those who choose to debate things of that nature right there. And just to show you people out there, you know, we get our, you know, sources of information. We do research our stories here at Frontline Black News. You see what I'm saying? Here, Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. So we definitely go to Ebony Magazine. You know, the great author they had there, Lerone Bennett Jr. We do research our stories. Okay. You know, a lot of knowledge here. Freddie D. Okay. You know, what happened? You see, so we know what we're talking about, you know. And then, too, we understand that we have haters out there that hate on us simply because of who we are. And it's all right, you know, and it's getting a little cold here, you know, in Las Vegas, Nevada. So, also, too, is that we got ad space available for a reasonable rate, what have you, here on the platforms. In addition to, is that, and we've been doing it now going on 10 years combined, 3 years here at Frontline Black News, 7 years at Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. And next Tuesday will be our, tomorrow night, November the 21st, that there'll be our 400th episode. And we started at the time of the 50th anniversary of the Black Panther Party. So the number to call in is 516-418-5996. And, you know, and I can't say that it's not going to get off the hook, but, you know, trying to upgrade the quality of our platforms, and we've had individuals on our platforms who've been very well educated, very, very well renowned. So we're waiting on Brother Che to come back into the studio. Okay, so in the meantime, until he gets back, let's do some reading right here. Definitely want to give a shout out there to Brother Joseph Shelton, who does the Black Man Read Aloud, who reads aloud, and whatnot.
Now, Shabaka, I have to restart the whole computer. All right, let's move on. Is that your final thoughts on this study for reparations?
The study for reparations. Okay, it's just cut the damn check, man. We all know what's up. Quit the bullshit. You know what I mean? It's because if you all going to sit up here and hit the taxpayers, man, you know, to help these immigrants, man, and migrants and all this old shit, then you might as well go on and cut the damn check, man, for the reparations. Okay, now who's this cat? Mark Robinson.
Mark Robinson is the one that said that we are the ones that owe reparations.
Okay, let's listen to this sick ass individual.
But he wouldn't say who we owe reparations to, but we Black Americans, Foundation of Black Americans, we supposedly owe somebody, but he won't say who it is.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, shout out to Torian Rain Reloaded. He's part of the new Black Media. Started his channel as well as ours. And he is going to break it all down on what issues, serious issues that Mark Robinson has.
Okay. And then
oftentimes on my channel, you'll hear me talking about how there are some people out there that are grifting hard and tap dancing just as harder. Well, Mark Robinson is a perfect example of that. And I had forgot all about this guy until something recent popped up, came my way about him that I'm going to talk about today. And I said, I definitely think I remember him getting entered into the Bed Bucking Hall of Shame last year, because I definitely remember this face and a picture of biscuits just smothered, like literally scattered in front of him in the thumbnail. But the reason why I'm talking about Mark Robinson today is because apparently they've uncovered a whole bunch of posts that he's made, in particular about women over the last few years. Now, when I read through some of these posts, I'm like, okay, I understand you may have a strong opinion about some of these individuals. It is what it is. But a lot of this is just, him pandering very hard, definitely. And some of it is he's just being very petty. Now, mind you, this guy is currently in a gubernatorial race to become governor for the state of North Carolina. He's currently the lieutenant governor, but he's running to be the governor. I'm going to be quite honest with y'all. I don't think he's going to win. I have a feeling this is all going to blow up in his face. And the crazy part about it is he said even weirder things in the past as well. I can't remember exactly what he said to get him into the Bed Bucking Hall of Shame when I did one on him last year, but I think it was definitely steeped in anti-blackness. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read this article coming from HuffPost, and I'm going to have different screenshots posted and scattered throughout the commentary as I go along, so y'all can actually visually see some of the stuff that he has said. North Carolina GOP gubernatorial candidate Mark Robinson is known for having a long history of peddling conspiracy theories. It turns out he's got a long history of something else, too, and that is demeaning successful women. Robinson, who is currently the state's lieutenant governor and leading Republican candidate for governor, has lashed out at nearly 24 women who are public figures in politics and entertainment. A review of his Facebook posts over the years reveals a pattern of offensive and disgusting language in the way he talks about prominent women, including former First Lady Michelle Obama, singer Taylor Swift, and Vice President Kamala Harris. As for Michelle Obama, he said he has repeatedly referred to her as a man. How many times have we heard that before? He said she speaks ghetto and Wookiee, referring to the language that Chewbacca speaks in Star Wars. He called her an angry, anti-American communist black lady. and said that she emanates the stench of human waste. As for Kamala Harris, he called her a joke, a nitwit, and a leftist idiot who supports the right to unalive the unborn. He said of Hillary Clinton, he said he created and posted a meme with an image of Clinton. He also called her a witch and compared her to the Klan. For Nancy Pelosi, he said she is a bitter, angry loser who hates America, the devil, and a wannabe despot, and compared her to dictators. I'm going to call him the Stash, Joseph Stalin, and Mao Zedong. For Elizabeth Warren, he called her a dingbat and also compared her to the Stash, Stalin, and Zedong. For Frederica Wilson, he called her a lying, liberal, bottom-feeding pond scum, leftist dressing like a rejected drag queen from Brokeback Mountain. As for Ilhan Omar, he compared her to a Klan member. For AOC,
I bet you would like
has
to
a
have
bizarre
sex with
fixation
her
with
too.
Ocasio-Cortez, calling her dumb, stupid, a moron, a ish-head, complete idiot, a leftist lunatic who has been possessed by the political Satanism of socialism and as dangerous as cyanide and Kool-Aid. Now, we all know what it means when it's said about the cyanide and Kool-Aid. That's definitely talking about Jim Jones. He also appears to have photoshopped an image of AOC's head onto the Stash's body. He seems to have an obsession with the Stash because he's linked the Stash to 3 women so far. He said those are just Robinson's attacks on women in politics. He's made disparaging comments about a lot of women in entertainment as well. He said of Taylor Swift, he called her trailer shift. He called Ellen DeGeneres, Ellen Degenerate, and a phony. For Jane Fonda, he called her an old witch. For Oprah, the Mammy Supreme wig free, he accused her of being racist and implied that she aided disgraced Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein's sexual abuse. As for Joy Behar, he called her a she-beast and said, "Shut up, stupid leftist," in response to her calling for Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh to take a lie detector test amid his sexual assault allegations. As for Alyssa Milano, he says she is a Hollywood moron, and in the same post called Hollywood a cesspool of drunken, drug-addicted, hypocritical leftists.
Well, he'll get an argument from me on that about Hollywood.
Ashley Judd, he posted a meme accusing actress Judd of trading sex for an Oscar, which the meme said is not violation. It's actually much more like prostitution. For Beyonce, he said that she teaches our young women how to be hypersexual whores and that she's not a singer, and said hashtag she's a booty shaker. He also had this to say of Halle Berry, Mariah Carey, and Issa Rae. He commented on their outfits, saying they were dressing in see-through, ultra-tight breast-bearing whore dresses to protest sexual harassment. For Cardi B, he claimed that the stench of indecency Americans are smelling is not coming from Pepe Le Pew, the cartoon skunk in Warner Brothers cartoons, but instead was coming from the garbage-like filth displayed by Cardi B.
Hey, no crumb bumming on more. Pepe Le Pew. I used to watch him as a kid.
Also good than women in professional sports. For Brittany Griner, he said he made fun of the basketball player for being detained in Russia, calling her a leftist stooge with arrogant ingratitude who deserved to be in prison. For Lindsey Vonn, he called the Olympic skier a dummy and mocked her for being critical of Trump. And for Megan Rapinoe, he said the U.S. women's soccer player is a foul-mouthed, anti-American, and arrogant and disrespectful moron, stupid and an unpatriotic nitwit. Now I want y'all to pay attention to all the stuff that he said. You know, like I said, it was a smorgasbord of women in there. He had PC women, governor of North Carolina, black women, and even women of inside of the academy. And I bet you there was probably a whole bunch more in there as well. But these are the ones that they pulled. Notice how this man threw on the cape for these PC men in every last tirade that he gave when it came to defending them, such as Brett Kavanaugh and 45. And in 3 of those insults, he compared them to some of the most ruthless dictators the world has ever seen, such as the Stash, Joseph Stalin, and Mao Zedong. If you know your history, you know. So, and I just wanted to point that out to y'all right there. This man's got his tap shoes on, and he is literally doing the river dance right now.
Yeah.
Was it Mao Zedong that said no investigation?
Mao Zedong is the correct pronunciation. Mao Zedong.
Mao Zedong.
Yeah. What about Mao?
Pops is always talking about him. Did he say that no right to investigation, no right to speak?
Okay, that I don't know, Brother Chad. I have to research that there for you. But however, I do know is that when Nixon had opened up relations to China, Dr. Newton did go to China and met with Mao Zedong.
Correct.
Yeah. And the cold part about it is Nixon, when he opened up relations with China, man, he practically had did the impossible. You know, is because LBJ couldn't do it, JFK wouldn't do it, Eisenhower, from what I understand, was totally against it. Because see, they had this thing here too. After now, let me make sure I got it right, okay? And also, too, people out there, if I'm wrong, feel free, to call up Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced and correct me on it. Okay, is that at the end of the Korean War, no, World War II. Then you had the Korean War, and then you had the Red Scare of the 1950s, where they're in fear of everybody being a communist, right? They had this dude by the name of Joseph McCarthy that was accusing everybody of being a communist, including Paul Robeson. And a lot of the people made Joseph McCarthy look like a total incomplete imbecile, which he was, with the committee that he had formed, and Joseph McCarthy, man, based on, because this is before my time, based on those before me who was saying it, was pretty much, man, like what the panties is in Florida. And yeah, Governor Ron DeSantis, I'm calling you a transvestite saying you wear women's underwear. And I do support my statement that I says the dump as in human shit. And I want to make that perfectly clear. Okay. All right. Now, this individual right here, man, with this Negro mindset, man, clinging on, man, to the slave master, man, the shit has got to go. And it's kind of like is that we thought that we was moving beyond this, but in actuality, man, it's a regression. It's because this dude right here, man, let him take his ass over there to the city of Los Angeles, okay? Let him go through South Central, man, on a Friday night.
What up, Deacon?
Oh, Deacon of Reality. Okay. What's up, Brother Deacon? And so, and when his ass gets jacked up by the LAPD, they're going to say, like they're doing with me and so many other individuals that visited Los Angeles, the suspect is described as a male Negro, period. Period. And all these individuals that he's slinging all his mud on, man, this dude is rebel rouser. See, this dumb shit, man, is like going back to the McCarthy era. You see what I mean? See, the panties, the transvestite, who is the governor of Florida, and yeah, Governor DeSantis, yeah, you welcome to call up Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. Yeah, we'll talk. The number to call is 516-418-5996, and we're still waiting on all you Biden supporters to call in. And Biden, he'll be 82 years old,
Yeah,
for the next presidential. Yeah, you see, and what it is that we need to form our own political parties, you know what I'm saying, dealing with our agendas first, Black first, period. And then we also, too, want to emphasize on this is because when you have cases like with George Floyd, cases like with Rodney King in Los Angeles, and then what made the George Floyd case,
don't ever come over here.
So bad is that Chauvin murdered that man. And the man said that, he couldn't breathe, and yet those Chauvin proceeded to apply pressure on this man's neck. Now, speaking to, one of our colleagues there, Brother Che, we was talking about the moves that Chauvin was making on his neck. And our colleague had stated is that what he was doing was he was applying pressure, more pressure, increasing the pressure. There on his neck. And you and I have looked at the video many of times together. We've discussed it on air and privately, where George Floyd expired at roughly at about the 9-minute mark. Was it, Brother Che?
Right before 9 minutes.
Yeah, because the man was urinating on himself. And the cold part about it is that I looked at that video again and again, and I thought that the liquid that I saw was the radiator leaking from the car, but in actuality, it was Mr. Floyd's urine. It was his urine. And he had passed away, and that was just before he did. And you see Mr. Floyd go limp. And then, of course, you and I both know when the paramedics came there and lifted him onto the gurney, man, and he was still handcuffed. Okay, the man was deceased. And so most definitely our hearts go out to his family and, those that cared about him and what have you.
I'm just saddened that nobody stepped in. How you just going to watch him die like that? Like they literally was watching him die. Somebody.
Yeah, and then a young woman, from what I understand, that took the video, that she's been hit with all kind of death threats and had to go off into hiding. And then those other two cops who were standing there, they went to jail, and rightfully so, because it was up to them to prevent them from what they're doing, even if they had to put a bullet in that fool's head.
Yeah, no doubt. But let's get back to this raccoon it's about.
Oh, yes, sir. This clown. Yes, sir.
HuffPost reached out to Robinson, both his campaign and his state government office, to ask why the lieutenant governor has spent years publicly attacking and demeaning so many successful women, and neither office responded. Robinson's baggage is clearly worrying some top Republicans in North Carolina who are reportedly rallying around a new pick, wealthy businessman and attorney Bill Graham, to become their party's gubernatorial frontrunner. Graham, who unsuccessfully ran for governor in 2008, jumped into the race on Wednesday and is pledging to spend millions of dollars of his own money. And I'm not pocket watching when I say this, but I don't think Mark Robinson can quite say the same. Now, here's the thing. You see all of that stuff that he said right there? We know who he said it for. That's why when they reached out to him to ask, why did you say this? There was no response. That's how he feels, but like I said, he's catering to that party, thinking that's what they want to hear. But notice in the article, it came back and said they're worried based on the post that he's made right here and some other things that he has said in the past. That means they're scared of even having this guy in. And then on top of that, Mark Robinson, I don't know if you've looked in the mirror lately. I don't know if you even own a mirror, but let me go ahead and give you a plot twist, a spoiler alert. You're black.
Right.
All this stuff that you're doing right here, at the end of the day, you're still a black man, and they're going to see you as such and treat you as such at the same time.
Yep.
Facts.
So you can tap dance all you want. You can bootlick until you're blue in the face. But at the end of the day, you are still a black man, and you better act accordingly. I have a feeling this is going to blow up in his face. And I wonder if Kid Gravity is going to hear this video, because if he does, because I know he's in the political realm, I'm curious to know, Kid Gravity, if you're out there listening to me right now, what do you have to say about this? Because this is very, very, very interesting. It says he is, let me continue to go on with the article. It says he is joining a crowded GOP primary with Robinson and 4 other conservative candidates, including former U.S. Rep. Mark Walker and Dale Folwell. The state treasurer, John Stein, who is currently the state's attorney general, is the leading Democratic contender for governor. Despite North Carolina being a swing state, Democrats have held governor seats for the last 30 years, except for one 4-year stretch with GOP Governor Pat McCrory. Current Governor Roy Cooper is term limited out in 2024. HuffPost previously talked to political analysts in North Carolina to get a sense of how Robinson, with his dangerous conspiracy theories and discussing attacks on women, came to be the GOP's frontrunner for governor. The consensus was that he has 2 things going for him that other GOP candidates don't: name recognition and Trump's endorsement. He represents the culture war of the Republican Party, said Stephen Green, a political science professor at North Carolina State University in Raleigh. Green predicted that if Robinson does become the GOP nominee, he will lose the general election in 2024. We have seen ever since the elevation of Trump, Republican primary voters again and again, time and time again, choosing the candidate who makes an awful general election candidate in a purple state. He said, my presumption is Mark Robinson will fall right into this pattern. So they're basically saying, granted, the thing that's working for Mark Robinson, such as Trump's endorsement, is going to work for him to possibly get the GOP nominee. But on the flip side, it'll work against him as far as him actually being elected to be governor. So it's like a double-edged sword. It's like it works on one hand, it works for him. On the other hand, it's not going to work for him. Like I said, I have a feeling this is definitely going to blow up in his face. And let me again give this disclaimer before I round out this video. A lot of the women that he had in here that he was talking about, a lot of them I've talked about on my channel before or in passing. A lot of them I really don't care for, but I wish I would spend the better time, the better part of my day, scratch that, the better part of my months, weeks, going on these endless tirades like he did, as y'all saw displayed on the screen, and what I've said in this video. Again, a lot of these tirades, if you see some of the timestamps, go back to 2018. These weren't things that he started saying just this week. It was put out this week. But as far as what he said, he's been saying this since like 2018, maybe even a little further back. But I think the earliest one that they got was in 2018. And if y'all look at that picture, that a couple of the pictures, and saw what I put up there or caught it, that's when it was posted. And he's still talking. And the thing is, I'm sure if you Google Mark Robinson's name right now, this is probably one of the more recent articles you'll find. But I'm sure there's some other stuff in there as well about him that's just kind of real shaky. But I'm telling you right now, he's feeling himself. He's feeling himself right now in a huge way. He probably feels he's untouchable. He probably feels that he's invincible and nothing's going to happen to him. But we shall see when that election rolls around in 2024. I have the strongest feeling he's not going to make it. I would actually be surprised if he actually did become the nominee, but I won't be surprised if he loses.
I won't be surprised either. Fuck Mark Robinson.
Family and fellow
soldiers. The professor.
You live in North Carolina, do not vote for that.
Yeah, and keep in mind, North Carolina is where our good. Oh yeah, and keep in mind in North Carolina, that's where our boy is. The one and only Joe Gibson and what have you.
Yeah, do not vote for Joseph Gibson if you live in North Carolina. Don't vote for that.
Right.
Tether anchor, baby.
Yeah. and what's happening here with Marilyn Mosby, because she put her life on the line getting them bastards that murdered Freddie Gray. So they setting her up for a fall, huh?
Oh yeah, big time. But you didn't have nothing to say about this raccoon?
Oh, I got a lot to say about him. First place, he's dangerous. Second place, man, he has that syndrome of self-hatred, and what tells us this is that the garbage that he is endorsing, you see what I mean? And then and it's just incredible, man, of how this syndrome, man, is going across the nation, man, with these black congressional politicians or legislators and some of these chief executives of some of these states, you see. And what's going on with that is that this is definitely moving backwards. And I'm quite sure that Dr. King was turning over in his grave, man, looking at some of this asinine shit.
Seriously.
Yeah, seriously. The X-Man too. Dr. Newton as well. You see, Medgar Evers.
Yep,
I don't even go so far as to say. Yeah, and hold on too, Brother Che. And I'll even go so far as to say Viola Luiso. Who was Viola Luiso? Viola Luiso was a 26-year-old white woman from Detroit who was killed during the civil rights movement. You see what I mean? You know, so, and then those who made the ultimate sacrifice, if they were to come back now, seeing on what's going on with this crap, how would they feel about it? You know, I'm just putting it out there. Okay, so let's see what Dr. Phil was saying about Marilyn Mosby.
Has been convicted of federal perjury. Now, it stems from a case where during the pandemic, she took money from her own 401k that they was allowing, people to get money from their 401k. And she said she had a hardship at the time, but they said that she didn't have a reduction in pay during that time. And she used the money to purchase, a home in Florida. I think it was 2 homes, matter of fact, in Florida. And they also accused her of mortgage fraud because they say she lied on the application. Because I guess there was part of the application, it's going to be a single family home or you're going to like use it for rent or Airbnb or whatever. And she put down it's supposed to be a single family home, but she turned around and was doing something else with her own property. So they charged her for that. Let's go ahead and roll that.
I'm blessed. I have nothing else to say. Ms. Mosby, were you surprised by the verdict?
That was the extent of the reaction from former City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby, shortly after a jury found her guilty on all counts. 2 perjury charges that the jury deliberated for about 6 hours before deciding on.
Any comment on the verdict?
Mr. Wider, what are the next steps? Mosby's 2 federal public defenders had no comment for reporters, and her 3rd defense attorney, Lucius Outlaw, ran away from our camera when we to talk.
Okay, we got interference going on with our signal on there from Denver, Colorado. My opinion on that, since I just got wind of this story right here, Ms. Mosby did an honorable thing with the Freddie Gray situation, bringing those Baltimore police officers there to justice. And I'm yet to go over more details of the case, but I wish Ms. Mosby well, is because she did, put her well-being on the line in the Freddie Gray case, going after these rogue-ass police officers who pin on this badge and this gun and think they got the power to play God.
Of court, and a spokesperson for the U.S. Attorney's Office briefly explained why.
We're not. No. We still have 2 cops pending.
Can you give us any information about the next step, scheduling or anything?
Conference.
Do we know when that's going to be?
No, she didn't schedule it.
Now, I'm a firm believer of what can we learn here? Who did she cross? But what we can learn is, well, one way to not having people, have your money in a 401k, you can start your own IRA, individual retirement account, or you can just put your money in a savings account and you have discipline to leave your money. But some people just do an IRA, right? Because maybe you want access to your money for whatever the reason.
Okay, let's see, we got a glitch signal right here. Okay, well, when Brother Che comes back on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, it's because what it is in this country with this, okay.
And
I think Phil Scott is coming back on. Brother Che, you there?
She still got money out of it anyway, right? So you look at how, all these cases that have been going here lately against these black, politicians, these people. That's why I tell people, when you get to certain levels, you got to really, watch yourself. You really do, because when you cross certain people, them folks will come after you. That's why some people tell me, "Oh, I feel you." Nope, too much righteousness, and they'll get me jammed up. I really do some politics. If I do politics, I prefer to do that outside this country in a black nation in this place. Because this place here is way too much corruption.
Yeah, it is.
This news.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on that, Shabaka?
Okay, well, like I said on that, wish Miss Mobley the best. I still have to do further research on the case, but I appreciate what she did when she brought them people that murdered Freddie Gray in Baltimore to justice.
Hell yeah.
And I think, personally, I think this is some retaliatory shit behind that. That's my opinion. But however, we will research this story further, for a future date. And we are going to try to reach out to...
I said we'll keep y'all updated on it.
Yeah, and we will try to reach out, to Dr. Mosby, because she is a PhD or a doctor of jurisprudence. So that's why I'm referring. Yeah, she has to have a doctorate degree in jurisprudence to be an attorney. Yeah, that's a given. You know what I'm saying? So she went to school for 8 years, like the Obamas did, like Kamala did. You know what I'm saying? And I just appreciate the sister when she was getting all those death threats, when she was prosecuting those murderers of Freddie Gray there in Baltimore.
Right.
And then unlike Kamala Harris, who should be hit with a case like she just got convicted of, you see what I'm saying? I got more respect for her than I have for Kamala.
Yeah.
Because if anybody ever saw a movie in the early 1980s, a film starring Al Pacino called And Justice for All.
Oh yeah.
He pretty much exposes the hypocrisy in the film in regard to the legal structure and what happened. And as he made it, is that when he was defending this crooked judge, who committed some, how should I say, heinous crimes, he got up there and says, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to a court of law, everybody wants to win on both sides. And, the prosecutor want to win, the defense wants to win, or the plaintiff and the defendant, they both want to win. Now, I'm just paraphrasing Al Pacino because he played the lead role of Arthur, who was the lawyer for the judge. And the judge, had got accused of some heinous shit. Yeah. And Al Pacino had went up there and made the line there in his opening statement to the jury, where he says that son of a bitch deserves to go right straight to fucking jail. And this is the dude he's representing in court, okay? So what we have right here, in my opinion, is that the powers that be there in the state of Maryland had targeted this woman is because she did bring down those brutalizers of Freddie Gray. And I do believe didn't Mr. Gray die in custody?
Yep, on the way to the jail.
Okay, so that's murder. Okay, because and I know it was about 6 cops, so they didn't secure him in the B wagon, paddy wagon, or whatever. Okay, they went over humps and bumps and making wild turns to throw Mr. Gray all around in the paddy wagon, and plus that Mr. Gray was already disabled to a point, from what I understand. So that's special circumstance, and she brought them bastards down as well as she should. So therefore, this is probably some type of retaliation against Ms. Mobley. Okay.
Oh yeah, you know it, Shabaka. Shout out to the viewers for staying up late with us. We got a couple more topics to get to. Yes.
Yes, sir. Because I'm getting tired.
Yeah. So the
next, and I can tell you're getting tired. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
The next topic is also Georgia related, and it involves the Cop City protests, where several protesters were tear gassed. Several activists were tear gassed and faced unprecedented RICO and domestic terrorism charges.
Wow. Okay, so therefore they went out, exercised their First Amendment rights to the freedom of speech. Okay, but these police agencies, they're becoming more and more paramilitary. See, so now they're not out dealing with preserving the safety of the public. Now they all are becoming hazardous to the public's safety.
They're race soldiers. That's what we call them.
Oh, yes, sir. Exactly. And then, you know, when they get exposed for their hypocrisy, they figure they're supposed to have a carte blanche, man, you know, not to be convicted. And we are happy to report off of research that we did, Brother Che, the U.S. Supreme Court refused to hear Derek Chauvin's appeal.
Yeah,
I wanted to put that out there. Yeah. And so let that son of a bitch rot in jail. And hopefully, with him being a police officer, they got him in Punk City. You know, he should be walking a concrete in the general population. Well, you know, his life would be in danger. Don't motherfuckers know that anytime that you are in jail in general population, everybody's damn life is at risk.
Right.
So they could miss me with that bullshit, you know.
Right. So this is Amy Goodman.
Oh, yeah. What's up with Amy Goodman? Yeah, she's been around for years, around 50 years that I know of.
Damn.
With democracy now. Yeah, she's been around quite a while.
Yeah, she's going to give us a rundown on the Cop City protests and the Brother Camus.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
From Black Power Media. It's going to give us a rundown. She's going to interview him.
This is funded by viewers like you. Please support our work at democracynow.org/give. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org. I'm Amy Goodman. We end today's show in Atlanta, Georgia, where people from around the country joined in a week of action to stop the massive $90 million police training complex known as Cop City.
They're throwing tear gas into the crowd. They're throwing munitions. Yeah, that's tear gas.
Yep.
On Monday, police attacked peaceful protesters with tear gas, pepper balls, flashbang grenades as over 400 marched toward the sacred Milani Forest, the proposed site for Cop City.
Yeah.
Participants concluded.
Just like that, they still paying out settlements. City didn't have to pay out taxpayers, Denver taxpayers. They had to pay out at least $100 million. I say more than that now, maybe 200.
All right, then what they should be doing is to offset that money right there is to go get the cops who was responsible for that and seize their pensions.
Yeah, well, I guess we ended qualified immunity in our state, but that ain't really being enforced, and the cops are still killing people.
Right, exactly. So now this is terrorism. See, this is state-sponsored terrorism.
Yeah, but you're
regardless
getting
of
fighting against it, you're getting charged with that. So I'm gonna let the video play since we pressed for time now. We got this topic. We got two more after this, and we're done. So I'm gonna let the video play.
All right.
Included the parents of the environmental defender Manuel Esteban Terán, known as Tortuguita, who was fatally shot by Georgia state troopers during a raid on the Stop Cop City protest encampment in January. This comes as activists have been organizing for a citywide referendum on the project, which officials have tied up in court. Meanwhile, 61 people facing RICO or racketeering and domestic terrorism charges appeared in court this month as the state tries to characterize them as militant anarchists. Al Jazeera's Fault Lines recently covered all of this in their report, Now You're a Terrorist, Atlanta's Cop City Crackdown. Sharif Abdel-Qaddous spoke to environmental activist Sarah Wasilewski, one of the dozens charged with domestic terrorism for protesting Cop City. She described the January morning when Georgia law enforcement officers violently raided their protest encampment when state troopers shot and killed Tortuguita.
So I was sleeping in a hammock with my partner at the time. We woke up around like 8, maybe quarter till 8 in the morning.
Sarah Wasilewski had traveled from Pittsburgh to Atlanta and joined the protest for the weekend.
So we were just laying in bed talking, and then all of a sudden we heard and saw just like 15 or
Damn it.
or so police in full military like combat gear, like with AR-15s just like coming through the woods directly at us. We were waiting to be put into a transport vehicle, and that's when I heard gunshots.
Busted a whole clip right there.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, that's a whole clip.
I screamed when I heard it.
With 30 rounds
and the
in it.
police officer that like had me.
Yeah,
also
that definitely
responded
felt like a 30-round clip.
Like they knew something bad happened.
While Sarah was being
Now they're jamming our feet again.
a team of officers killed Tortuguita in a barrage of gunfire.
Truth also spoke to Indigenous forest defender Victor Puertas in DeKalb County Jail. Puertas was immediately taken into custody by ICE.
After weeks of negotiations with the detention center, we were able to speak to Victor by video call.
Hello.
Hi, Victor. This is the first time he's spoken to the media since his arrest.
It feels like you live in a completely parallel life, you know, like your life stopped the moment that you got arrested, and now you have to make meaning of all this, you know.
And why is this movement so important to you, Victor?
I care about the land, I care about
Okay, folks, yeah, we're freezing up once again. Okay, and
labels it as a violent extremist organization and then charges participants like you with domestic terrorism.
You know, you don't believe it first, you know, and then you realize, yeah, actually they're like passing these kind of laws, you know, to target certain groups of people. What's happening here in Georgia, in Atlanta, you know, it will have a repercussion all over the country.
For more, we're joined by two guests. Sharif Abdel-Quddus is still with us, correspondent for this Al Jazeera Fault Lines report. And Kamau Franklin is joining us, founder of the organization Community Movement Builders, who's been part of the now 2-year movement to stop Cop City. We welcome you both back to Democracy Now! Kamau, for the latest news of this week, over 60 people in court, many of them charged with domestic terrorism. Can you talk about the significance of what this means? As we heard this woman say, domestic terrorism and how it affects their whole lives.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I mean, this issue goes to the heart of the militarization of the police and the criminalization of movements. What we're witnessing in Atlanta is a rebirth of the COINTELPRO movement to stamp out organizers and activists, to scare people into not speaking up and participating in movements. You have people who came to Atlanta who previously were not involved in any Cop City activity, but who happened to get rounded up by police. And the police looked at IDs, and if they had Georgia IDs, they let them go. If they had out-of-state IDs, they arrested them and charged them with domestic terrorism, and later added on the charge of RICO. So you have people whose lives have been turned upside down, people who've been engaged in acts, some people who've been engaged in acts of simple civil disobedience by sitting in tents, by sitting in tree huts, who now, again, have domestic terrorism charges and RICO charges. And so, as you stated, and as the documentary was saying, people's lives have been turned upside down because of the state's attempt to criminalize and brutalize activists and organizers who are working against police violence in our city.
Can you talk about
then go and hook and book the mayor
opposition?
of
I mean,
Atlanta
it's
for
not just
that.
one group. It's people who are deeply concerned about police brutality. It's also religious leaders, indigenous leaders. Talk about the area where it's being built.
Yeah, one of the things about this movement has been, since the very beginning, it's been vast in its outreach. Everything from community organizers like myself, environmentalists, religious leaders, voting rights activists, yes, including anarchists, other people who are community members who've been engaged in this because they see two things happening. One is what we spoke about a couple of seconds ago, is the continued over-policing of Black and brown communities that will be happening if Cop City is built. Two is the attack against movements, which is the very reason why this vast militarized facility is even being proposed. And then three is the environmental degradation of the Walani Forest, which is going to be ripped apart. Over 300 acres have been rented at $10 a year. 90 acres have already been cut down. This forest has been promised to a working class adjacent Black community for use of park space, for camping space, for trails, walking trails. All of those plans were ripped away as soon as they decided to put Cop City in. It's already caused environmental degradation in the neighborhood, and that will continue to happen as they go forth with their plans to try to build Cop City.
And what about the referendum? What's happened to it? An Atlanta-wide referendum so people could decide.
The city of Atlanta, along with the clerk's office, the mayor's office, the city council, have basically sat on this referendum. They've done nothing to move this forward, even though the organizers who did this, we collected over 116,000 signatures.
Wow.
The city council and the clerk's office could have started verifying these signatures as soon as we turned them in, but they decided to halt that process and to not do it. Further, the city council on its own.
All right, well, they belong in jail for dereliction of duty.
The signatures.
Right.
And again, they have failed the city of Atlanta. They failed the people in Atlanta by allowing the people to decide. People, again, over 116,000 signatures of people saying that they want to vote on this, they want a voice on this, but the city has ignored it because it prefers to do backroom deals with corporations and with the Atlanta Police Foundation and with the police themselves and the state government. You have here a right-wing, white Republican state apparatus teaming up with a so-called liberal, moderate, Democratic Black mayor apparatus. And the things that they agree upon most is how to protect cops and capitalism. And that's what's happening right now. And the referendum is being put on ice so that they can't be voted upon by the people in Atlanta.
Sharif, you spoke to Belkis Teran, the mother of the forest defender Manuel Esteban Paez Teran, known as Tortuguita, who was killed by Georgia police in January. Belkis traveled to Georgia from Panama, where she lives. And we can just play a short clip.
I really don't believe anything what they say. I think they are lying. And there is nothing new. Everybody knows that police lie.
The county medical examiner didn't find any gunshot residue on Tortuguita's hands.
Damn.
And an independent autopsy suggests that Tortuguita was shot while seated with hands raised.
Manuel really was passive.
Another Denzel Dowd
He
case.
disliked the police very much, but not to kill anybody or to try to kill anybody. Manuel's life and message is to save the world, to save the green areas, to take care of the oceans.
Sharif, one of the first people we hear in your Fault Lines documentary, Now You're a Terrorist, is the mother of Tortuguita, Belkis Teran. Your overall take from covering issues all over the world, from going down to Atlanta and seeing what people were confronting here and now what they're being charged with. I mean, that's not to say Tortuguita, who was killed.
Right. Well, I think what's important to note about the movement to stop Cop City and defend the Atlanta forest is its resilience. It's brought together, as you mentioned, abolitionists, environmentalists, indigenous rights leaders, religious leaders, a multifaceted resistance movement against this massive planned police training center. And the movement's lasted well over 2 years now. It's still going despite this massive amount of state repression against it. And what we try and document in the documentary is that many of these. There's a crackdown on even lawful political activities, and lawyers say this is unprecedented, that it's basically criminalizing political association. The indictment, where 61 people are charged in this wide-ranging racketeering case, the ACLU called the theory in the indictment shocking and unprecedented, and it basically relies on people's beliefs and community organizing as the basis for the sweeping criminal liability. And just finally, as we're talking internationally too, there's protests by the Stop Cop City movement in support of Palestine as well, and against what's called the Georgia International Law Enforcement Exchange, or GILEE, where law enforcement officers from Atlanta, from across the state and the U.S. travel to Israel to receive training from Israeli police forces.
That's true.
Israel's long taken these strategies and techniques that are honed on the Palestinian body and then exported them abroad. And so we see these ties between Israel and police forces in Atlanta.
Sheriff Kudus, he is the reporter on Now You're a Terrorist, the Fault Lines documentary. You can watch it online. And Kamau Franklin of Community Movement Builders.
I think Sarge was talking about that one time on the show.
Yeah.
He said that's where the best trained. They got something worse than the CIA and the FBI.
Right, and then keep in mind is that the Israelis are supplied heavily by the U.S. State Department militarily, and plus they allow the Israelis to come here to go to school.
Calls it the 52nd state.
Yeah.
First state.
Yep.
1948.
Yes, sir.
Since Harry S. Truman, that's what it's been.
Yep.
State terrorism, state genocide, state murder.
And then the cold part about it is that there was a brother from Los Angeles by the name of Ralph Bunche that helped establish what they refer to as Israel to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder and I wonder what Mr. Bunche's offspring and survivors have to say about this.
I would say they would be on board with Stop Cop City.
Oh, well, of course. You know what I'm saying? And then the cold part about it is, man, is that Cop City, and in fact, is illegal itself, man, against the hypocrisy of the U.S. Constitution, is because what they're doing, man, it's a terrorist training camp is what it is. Terrorists against the people. And what do we always say? And what do we always say?
They ain't got no obligation. Fuck the police and it's on Tuesday.
Yes, sir. And then to mention the fact that is that when you have a military force against the citizenry, isn't that tyranny?
Yes,
that's tyranny. Because you got captains and lieutenants and sergeants and all that. See, that's military.
Yeah, that's definitely military.
Oh, Lisa Cabrera.
Yes, he's gonna give us a rundown on the sister that got removed from the board of commissions in Georgia.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know, I think some people need to admit they should not drink, they should not be drug addicts. They need to put stuff down because when your whole personality and demeanor changes when you have a drink, then it is time to admit you got a problem and get some help.
Right.
So, this story that I'm about to go into is a Georgia lawmaker, and she just got relieved of her vice chair position that she had, and she's upset and she's suing. But there is footage of her sloppy drunk out there on the streets. In fact, she passed out on the sidewalk, as you can see in the still shots there. So, a Georgia lawmaker found allegedly passed out on the streets is suing the county for booting her as vice chair. Well, that's embarrassing. You know, you do represent the people when you are a politician. At least you're supposed to, but in America, politicians really don't do that. They don't represent the people at all. So, a former Georgia lawmaker is planning to sue Clayton County for booting her from her vice chair position after she was filmed screaming at medics who allegedly found her passed out drunk outside of a sports bar. Felicia Franklin announced that she is filing the suit after county officials voted unanimously to dismiss her from her position as a Board of Commissioners vice chair over the September altercation, which was recorded on police worn body cam, according to the wow. Let me just show you the video, y'all. Let me just show you the video.
You need to stop.
Felicia.
You're going to make it worse than. What it needs to be.
Felicia.
Better get him out my face. I don't get him out my face. You better. Get him out my face. You better get him out my face.
Ma'am, you're about to go to jail.
I don't give a get him out my face. You get him out my face.
Oh, she was.
Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, you know, I grew up in a city. And when you grow up in the city, especially in the hood, you will see people like this.
Oh, yeah.
I used to live across the street from a family. And not only was the father a drunk, some of the kids in the house. This family used to get pissy drunk and come out on the streets and get into big brawls on the street drunk.
Well, you know, fucking with that carriage juice, you know what I'm saying?
This man had his payday. He would come stumbling up the street drunk. And we knew his wife used to be Miss Doris would be fired up mad.
Okay, it looks like we have an audio problem here.
Sorry, Shapiro. Bring my back up.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looked like it froze. Yeah, it looked like it froze. Okay, I hear you, but it looks like the video itself froze.
Oh.
Okay, well, this is very, very sad right here. And then also, too, folks, if you can give stars to Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, we want to see how that works. Because we're still,
Are you got the stars set up?
Well, it says here, stars, give stars to Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. But so far, I haven't seen any. And like I said, this is kind of semi-experimental of doing the broadcast on the like page of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced.
Yeah.
And it's just an experiment, and then there's some extra hurdles that you got to cross to, get the stars. And also, too, that artificial intelligence out there that's doing the spelling. My name is spelled Shabaka, not Chewbacca. Chewbacca is a character out of a damn Star Wars movie.
Yeah, it always comes up as Chewbacca with that on the captions.
Yeah. Shit, I look like a walking carpet, to motherfuckers out here. Shit,
Yeah.
Yeah. So spell the fucking name right.
Right.
Shabaka. Now let's see if this damn artificial intelligence picks that up. Now is that somebody? Is that telemetry for me? Is that somebody putting insults up there, man? Yeah. Oh no, that's quoting me. Yeah. So yeah, I did say spell the fucking name right. Yeah. Okay. It's very sad about this woman being out there, but generally when somebody drinks at that level, they have some type of internal pain or some type of
she was on some 40 proof Hennessy. She was fucked up.
Oh shit, Hennessy? Oh yeah. Yeah, she was on tilt. Yeah.
You got some Hennessy, some wine, and a swig of beer.
Oh hell no. Boy, her guts must be World War III, man. You don't cross beer, wine, and Hennessy, man.
Right. That's why she was like that.
No. Yeah, you do not cross them drinks like that. Oh shit, no.
That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. And nice looking woman, you know what I'm saying? But generally, when somebody's drinking like that, there's an internal conflict that's going on. Maybe lost a loved one, or probably heard some tragic news, or dealing with a tragic situation, that could be extremely personal, or in her family, something like that. Yeah, just wish to assist her well, man,
Right.
And then, of course, they made it a point to videotape her. Why is it, man? It's like mug shots, man. Why is it doing? A lot of people go to jail and get mug shots taken, man. They always got you looking the worst,
I know.
Yeah, same damn thing, man, you know, with these video cams they make.
Yeah.
I would not have recorded no video, or I would have recorded the audio. You know, if I had to record something, but I wouldn't have recorded a sister like this, man. And like that, she's drinking for some type of pain.
Yeah.
And I just know that being an old bastard, you know what I'm saying? That's what happens when you get old, Brother Che. You've seen a lot, you know? Yeah. And this is why, as I stated before, you know, on this platform, I go through historical events. You know, I try to do my best to relate it as best as I could as I've lived through it. You know, for the next generations, is because when they write about it, they're always going to taint history.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They always are going to taint it. Yeah, boy, shit. Or a Sandman trying to get to me.
Oh no, we got 2 more topics.
All right, let's go on with them. I'm gonna try to hang, which I did have some coffee earlier just for this reason.
Yeah, I just had an energy drink. It's the Arizona.
Oh, Arizona iced tea?
Yeah, it's the energy one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, be careful on those energy drinks, brother. Be sure to dilute your system, you know, like with some water or something afterwards, you know, after you serve your purpose.
This is tonic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, not that monster stuff. Yeah. Yeah, Arizona iced tea. Say what now?
Like you say, it's like in her presence dog.
Okay. All right, well, if we can continue with this video, what happened with this sister?
It's almost done.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Good point.
Okay, what's that? The chat room?
Right. Hey. Yeah, Blacc is at least a confer, definitely. So, what are your thoughts on the Georgia politician being removed for being sloppy drunk?
Okay, well, what I'm saying is that what they need to do is they need to give her some time off, you know, but don't fire her from her job, particularly if this is the first time she did this, and give her some time to, you know, get herself together because she might be going something deeply personal. And how long was she on the job? And is this the first time that she has exhibited this behavior? See?
Yeah.
I mean, just don't kick the woman to the curb yet, is what I'm saying.
Okay. So, she's not justified in her actions, but don't fire her.
Right, yeah, just give her some time off to let her get herself together because, you know, she might be going through something very, very personal. And generally when people drink like that, or they're in some type of pain that they're trying to suppress.
Right. She mixed what? 40 proof Hennessy,
Yeah.
beer, and some wine.
Oh, hell, that's a disaster for your gut, man. That's a straight gut disaster right there. And I can imagine the hangover that she had when she woke up. Lord.
Yeah. She was definitely good and fucked up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, I see the moment of truth up here. That sounds like the professor's about to come on.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's hear what the professor's talking about.
So he's going to give us the breakdown on the hate crimes.
All right.
From these neo-Nazis.
Well, my suggestion is get to the pistol range, Black family, clean your weapons, lock and load, make sure they're registered, skill yourself in some hand-to-hand combat. And as the minister has stated, by any means necessary, because you have a right to live, you have a right to exist, and you have a right to survive.
Yeah. No doubt. All right, let's let it go. Shout out to the professor. If you haven't liked and subscribed to Professor Black Truth, what are you doing? And what are you doing if you haven't subscribed to Frontline Black News? What are y'all doing? All right, so I'm gonna let the video play.
Okay.
Why in the hell would you do that? Just off topic, why would you do something like that? Maine is like the whitest state in the country. It's even more white. Idaho.
That's where she was at, Maine?
Yeah. So he said that this brother, he decided to move his family to Maine because they were told it was the crime was a lot lower and they were a lot safer, and they became a victim of a racist and white supremacist crime.
Is it a Second Amendment state?
Maine?
Yeah.
I believe so. Shabaka. I'm gonna double check though. But yeah.
Okay. What's the big city? What's the big city in Maine? I believe it's Portsmouth, ain't it?
Portland.
Yeah, Portland, Maine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Maine. Open carry. So you're asking if it's an open carry state?
Yes.
It's a concealed carry.
Okay, so it means you got to have a permit. Okay.
No,
Idaho.
It says it's open and concealed carry.
Okay, like Idaho.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just got to be at least 21 or at least 18 and active duty in the military.
Okay.
Or honorably discharged military.
Okay.
That's a firearm is allowed to open carry openly or conceal. In addition, Maine issues permits for reciprocity, reciprocity. Yeah, so it's an open carry definitely and concealed carry.
Okay. Yeah, like Idaho.
Yep.
Okay. And this is Biddeford. See, they got 7-Elevens all over there too, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, so I think 7-Eleven is in all 50 states.
Yes.
Leo walked up behind the black man and hit him, breaking his jaw. Damn.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
This fool right here.
Oh shit, that's Mr. Sandman.
Yeah, Sandman trying to work with him. Okay, Portland, Maine police say they interviewed Leo after the alleged assault, but no arrest was made at the time.
Yeah. Oh
no. So one of the two suspects was granted bail, so somebody made bail for him, and he jumped bail, right?
Yeah, and these are beyond suspected white supremacists. They have white supremacist tattoos. They got tattoos of swastikas, SS, lightning bolt.
Wow.
They got dummy. He was supposed to get 14, and he ended up getting 13. Dummy. How you gonna hail Hitler, but you gonna get 13 instead of a 14? Because 14 is supposed to represent hail Hitler. Because 14 is the H is the 14th letter of the alphabet. So that's what they signify it with.
Right, because I thought off the research I did, their logo was a dagger with a lightning bolt going through it.
Yep. Those any lightning bolts. You see lightning bolts, you see 8-8, you see 14. These swastikas, those are white supremacists. Neo-Nazis.
Okay, so we got to be on guard with them because they will use their guns. You get in a conflict with them, you beat his ass.
And then look what the vodka bottle said. We must secure a existence for our people and future of white children.
My God.
So we need something equivalent of that instead of white children, it's black children.
Right. Well, as I said, Brother Che, to the young men and women in their mid-teens, get in shape and stay in shape.
Yep.
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was just about to say. Thank you, Shapiro. So
Because
giving us the rundown on these. They're not even suspected white supremacists at this point. They are white supremacists.
No. These are factual white supremacists.
These are white extremists.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. That's what I meant by factual. I mean, no guesswork involved. Okay. Now I'm gonna tell you something. The only thing I can say about these bastards is this: they are stating how they honestly feel, and never apologize for how you honestly feel. And I'm not meaning that on a personal basis. I'm talking about on a collective basis.
Yeah. Yep. Let's go.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. And it's just incredible, Brother Paris, about what all this is going on. And you got these ass scratchers like that fool down there, man, in North Carolina, Tim Scott, and all of that, right?
Yeah, we just
Now,
talk about Mark Johnson.
okay, so what now about Mark Johnson?
He's the lieutenant governor of North Carolina.
Oh yeah. Well, he's sick. Okay, it's a syndrome.
Yeah, it's called crackatosis.
I like that. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, I was about to say cluxism. You know, like how they got autism. Yeah, these fools got cluxism. Cluxism. I mean, this is a brain dead motherfucker who does not realize that he is brain dead. See, he's beyond brain dead. Yeah.
No, yep. That part. Yep. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, what's happening?
What Professor Black Truth is saying.
Okay, we can't hear the professor.
Oh my God, no, you can't hear it. Oh man, you can't hear it at all.
No, sir. All I hear is you.
Oh, you can't hear anything, but you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
God damn it. I hear that damn clock. You got a damn grandfather clock.
Nope.
Okay. Something blah blah. You can't hear it still?
No, sir. Oh, yeah.
Oh shit! I'm gonna have to go out and come back in.
All right. I'll hold.
Hold it down. Okay, I'm Blacc. Rebecca, did you nod out?
No,
Oh, okay. All right, you can hear me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try this again.
Yeah, but I can't hear the professor.
All right, can you hear
me? Wanted the penalty to recognize the difference between the
Yeah,
uncle.
now I hear him.
They both committed the same crime. What was the difference? Well, the difference was the uncle wasn't the one who actually broke Mr. McCollum's jaw. That's the difference. But the topper was when the U.S. attorney said, we must acknowledge the damage that this inflicted to individuals, their families, and their community. Now, here he is bending over backwards to help a violent, racist, neo-Nazi punk avoid punishment. And he had the nerve to say that cutting this criminal a break on his prison time was acknowledging the damage done to the victims. No, this was doing more damage. And this is exactly what another U.S. attorney, Kristen Clark, did when her office boldly defied the family of Ahmaud Arbery and tried to cut his murderers a sweetheart plea deal, conspiring to send those demonic criminals to a cushy federal country club instead of the state hellhole in Georgia they deserved, and claiming that would bring the family of Ahmaud Arbery peace. This while his family was standing right in front of them in court protesting the plea deal. When you see them using the same phrases under specific circumstances, that's how you know these aren't coincidences. This is government policy. And just to prove it, the federal judge chimed right in during the sentencing phase, making a show of her contempt for the victims. She expressed nothing but sympathy for Dusty Leo. She said that he had been brainwashed by his uncle and that he was drunk at the time. I mean, she was doing nothing but just making excuses for him. This is the judge here. She actually praised him in open court for allegedly taking responsibility for his crimes. Never mind that part of a plea deal requires the defendant to confess to the crime. And when you consider that he went from looking at 10 years to only 36 months, that's the real reason that he took responsibility, because he knew that if his case actually went before a jury, he would be looking at 10 years guaranteed, which was exactly what happened to his uncle. Diggins decided to go to trial, and he was convicted on 2 counts of committing hate crimes and 1 count of conspiracy. The judge sentenced him to 10 years, but he'll most likely be out well before that. During Diggins' trial, it was revealed that he was recorded on audio during a prison phone call with his wife. It was during this call that Diggins bragged that a lot of people in Maine were also fellow white supremacists and agreed with him. The inference being that there were plenty of people in Maine who were sympathetic to his white supremacist leanings and wouldn't convict him in court. During this phone call, Diggins specifically cited then Governor of Maine Paul LePage's racist remarks about black drug dealers coming from Connecticut and New York, getting the white girls impregnated and throwing drugs all over the place. He cited that as being his proof that he wasn't alone. There were plenty of people in Maine who agreed with him. They were as racist as he was. This proves what black people have been saying all along. There is a direct connection between the racist hate speech spouted by these politicians and the hate crimes that follow. And that's what the Paul LePages and these other reprobates know. They know that when they get on television or radio and print and they start making their racist remarks about black people, that is meant to go ahead and galvanize these white supremacists, people who have genetic immunity from law, so that they can go ahead and indulge this immunity from the injustice system, because that's what it's meant to do. They already know that the police aren't going to touch them. The police won't arrest them. The prosecutors will give them low-ball misdemeanor charges, and the judges will give them a slap on the wrist and say, good luck. The Paul LePages tell these racist lies specifically for the purpose of encouraging and emboldening these white supremacists to commit anti-black violence. And these white supremacists like this Diggins creep know it. They revel in it. Hey, we're not going to get in trouble. All these people in Maine, they agree with us. And even if they don't, look at the governor. We can get a pardon from the governor if we go to jail. Don't worry about it. We got immunity from law. Now, while he was wrong about the number of people in Maine who would protect him, he was certainly right that there were a lot of people who shared his sick mentality and would try to protect him, like the judge in this case, Nancy Torrenson. She might as well have declared herself counsel for the defense because that's what she was. Let this case stand as yet another reminder when you have trash like former Governor LePage talking about black men from New York and Connecticut committing all the crimes in Maine. It's incidents like this that remind you of the truth. But the judge was trying to rehabilitate his image in open court. This is the guy who actually broke Mr. McCollum's jaw. It wasn't his uncle, it was him. And this is how the judge was talking about him, like he was the victim. This guy knew exactly what he was doing. And just to add insult to injury, the judge had the nerve to wish him luck at the end. Yeah, wish him luck on his next hate crime. Now, there's something else that also needs to be mentioned about these two degenerates. Both of them had actually attacked another black person, actually a group of black people that very night. And according to reports, they attacked a black man, and they also broke the jaw of that black man as well. Now, we all know what's going on here. You got these little prison reprobates. They learn some of these little dirty maneuvers, like if you punch somebody on the hinge of the jaw, where the jawbone meets the base of the skull, then that's most likely to cause some sort of fracture or breakage, because that's the weakest point. And apparently these guys are running around doing this mess. This is what these little white supremacists do. They call themselves picking up some sort of dirtbag moves like this, and they think this makes them tough. What they do instead is they go looking for some black person who they hopefully can catch off their guard, someone who they can catch slipping, and that's who they carry out one of these ambushes against. We'll continue with the moment of truth in just a moment, but first, a word from the official sponsor of Black Empowerment, Power Tools. There's no telling when something's going to come up, so make sure you carry your power tools at all times. You never know when you're going to need to bring the hammer down, or when you'll have some trash that needs to be blown away, or some obstacle that requires cutting down. Don't get caught empty-handed. Keep your hammer close by. Keep that leaf blower at the ready, and always carry your steel. Power tools, because no matter what your day job or side hustle may be, there's no excuse for not being ready to put in some work. Their sleazy lawyer tried to claim that, well, one of the people in the group that they attacked was white or believed to be white. So are you sure it was a hate crime? Yeah, the guy with all the neo-Nazi tattoos on him, I'm sure that he just did it by accident. He would just happen to run around attacking black people that night purely by coincidence. Both the U.S. attorney and the judge were fully aware of the fact that these two had been going on a spree of hate crimes that night. Not just one. And yet here they are giving one of them all this sympathy and telling him good luck. And, oh, I'm sure you didn't mean to do it. Now, as alluded to earlier, you won't be surprised to learn that this wasn't these two animals' first brush with the law. Dusty has a criminal record that includes convictions for carrying a concealed weapon, trafficking in dangerous knives, and 2 drunk driving charges. This is the guy who the U.S. attorney claimed wasn't likely to commit another hate crime. Notice he didn't say he wasn't likely to reoffend. It's like, well, he's going to reoffend. He just may not commit another hate crime. This is the creep who the judge wished good luck to. This is the guy who actually broke Mr. McCollum's jaw. And as for the walking neo-Nazi graffiti board, Diggins has an extensive criminal history that began in 2003 and includes multiple convictions for theft and burglary. He's been in and out of prison for most of his life. Now, keep in mind, this hate crime spree was committed 5 years ago. But the story doesn't quite end there. Damon McCullum has since left Biddleford, but he wasn't through with his 2 attackers. He sued both Dusty and Diggins in civil court last fall, seeking damages to cover medical costs from the attack. This week, a judge entered a default judgment in favor of Mr. McCollum for $1.2 million in damages after the 2 neo-Nazis failed to respond to the lawsuits against them. Interesting what happens when a judge actually does their job, though the judgment should have been for a hell of a lot more than just $1.2 million. And these 2 neo-Nazis are now begging for mercy. Diggins wrote a letter to the judge whining, saying, "Your Honor, I have no means to pay Mr. McCollum if judgment is made in favor of Mr. McCollum." He said he couldn't pay for his own lawyer, and his commissary account was frozen because he couldn't afford the $15,000 he'd been ordered to pay in fines and restitution during the criminal trial. "I'm sure you see my dilemma," Diggins wrote. "If I'm not able to respond, a judgment will be made in the plaintiff's favor, which seems very unfair considering I'm making the courts aware." This neo-Nazi animal carried out a series of premeditated racial attacks in a single night, inflicting grievous bodily harm on his victims, and he did so intentionally. And here he is now talking about unfair. See, white supremacists are not used to the law actually touching them. So when it does, it's like the world's turned upside down. It's a shock. The white media says that both of these neo-Nazis are in federal confinement, but that's not strictly speaking true. Only Diggins is still in prison. The appropriately named Dusty Leo, however, is set to get out of a halfway house next week. So he can start working to pay off his debt then. When you look at their extensive criminal records and how the police refused to arrest them initially, the state prosecutors refused to prosecute, the state judge refused to have them arrested for contempt of court or to do anything substantive about them, this is how you know white privilege is immunity from law. When someone's on probation for a state crime, ordinarily that ought to prompt the prosecutors to have them locked up for violating probation and to pursue charges against them on whatever new crimes they've committed because they're clearly a recidivist offender. When you have genetic immunity from law, however, the prosecutors understand that's the real principle that has to be upheld. This is why a black hate crime law is important, and it must be specifically for hate crimes committed against black people and no one else.
That's right.
Now, in stories regarding this attack, the white media tried to say that hate crimes have gone up 3 years in a row, but in Maine, the hate crimes have gone down. Well, that's not true. As NPR reported, all crimes tend to be undercounted, and this is especially true for hate crimes because they rely on the discretion of the police, who in most cases are actually in league with these hate criminals. So, of course, they're going to declare that these racially targeted crimes weren't motivated by race. In 2017, James Cullen, a former researcher at the Brennan Center, pointed out that, according to the FBI, there were 0 hate crimes in Mississippi in 2015. None. That is unbelievable in a literal sense. We should not believe it. So when Diggins was bragging that there were a lot of people in Maine who agreed with him, he was right. From the police to the prosecutors to the judges to the white media, they would all lie for him, all ignore the law, and even break the law to protect him. Shoehorning everyone into the conversation when it comes to hate crimes is meant to dilute the issue and to say that black people aren't being especially targeted. It's the equivalent of saying all lives matter. When talking about anti-Semitism, they never bring anyone else into the conversation. I documented for you how hate crimes against Asians had a steep drop in the last couple of years, not that they had been high to begin with, and that anti-black hate crimes were surging and have always been the highest in the country. And yet the government was going into hysterics about making sure that an Asian hate crime bill got passed. Meanwhile, the main victims of hate crime in America were systematically ignored. This is deliberate, intentional policy. There's nothing anyone could say about the few incidents involving Asian victims of hate crimes that you could not say tenfold about the black community. Yet there's no outcry, no furor, not even from the so-called congressional black political leadership. The CBC is a whorehouse. It will be up to us to bring the pressure necessary to get the kinds of policies we need. Though in the meantime, understand the realities of the world we live in. 99% of the time, these white supremacists will be too scared to try anything. But when they think that there's more of them than there are of you, when they think that they're armed and you're not, then they'll all of a sudden get their little courage up and try to part. No fear either. We should, however, live in a state of readiness. Make it a point to be prepared to defend yourself against these neo-Nazis. Be ready to stop their attacks the next time that Dusty Leo and his pals decide that they think they've spotted a soft target. Be ready for the next time some neo-Nazi comes along thinking they're going to make you or some other black person into their next victim. Your eyes open and stay on alert, because there's a lot worse criminals out there than the ones the white corporate media chooses to show you. Good day. And be one. I'd like to take a moment to mention some of our contributors. One.
And that we're going to continue to do what we.
All right, Shabaka.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yes, that's our communities around the values that make Chicago the greatest city.
What are your thoughts on what we just watched?
Okay, yeah, man, you know, that's heavy, man. You know what I'm saying? It really is, man. About they can manipulate these damn elections and all this other type of shit, man. You know, bumping people's head, man. And they're just lying, man. These damn politicians, man, you know, not trying to do the right thing. They in it for the money, man. You know what I'm saying? Brother Che. I'm still
Sorry,
here.
What are your thoughts on the neo-Nazis?
On the neo-Nazis, man, the only way to deal with that, man, is we got to form some type of force. Yeah, we got to form some type of force, man, to go up against them, man, to protect ourselves.
Yeah, but they're trying to make it seem like we can't defend ourselves, and that's a goddamn lie. We need to defend ourselves at all costs, Black family. Lady Shay entered the building. Greetings, Lady Shay.
All right.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry, family. Like, I know y'all doing shows. You know, I'm sick as hell. I'm trying to be quiet and whisper things to Jesse. I'm sorry, family. No, I hope I get better. Yes, gotta get it. It's a slow thing, but I'm in a lot of pain. Like, it feels like somebody playing basketball in the back of my head, you know?
Oh my God, that's not good.
I wake up and it feels like anybody ever been a little kid play basketball? Somebody hit your head with basketball, you know what I mean? Like, what, you know? Just imagine if somebody hits you like 3 times, that's what it feels like in a night. It's really bad, like, I got my sunglasses on, the darkest pair I got in my room. I just want to lay down and get the use of my machines, but I can't because I wake up, my head just pounding. It's uncomfortable now. It's because I'm sleeping, but I'm drinking shine. I feel a little better.
Yeah.
It's dumb. That's dumb, huh? Yeah, so I'm trying to whisper to Jesse.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can you hear Lady Shay?
Yeah, I hear her in the background.
Yeah, I'm trying to be really quiet. Jesse had her announced me, and I was like,
So how are you feeling?
I feel like shit. Like, not only am I coughing, but I feel horrible. Like, I shut this off for a second. Yeah. Oh, I feel horrible. There's a thing where you can get too much oxygen on your brain. Like too. And for some reason, I'm one of those people that they gather too much, you know. My brain like it was going to explode earlier. So I got machines that. And so I tell her, I was like, well, I'll put on the bypass for a little while. Because I got too much CO2 going on. I can't even open my eyes. I got too much oxygen going on in my brain, which is stupid. That means something's not right. I never really understood why a person got too much oxygen on their brain. But that's not the way they word it. Too much CO2 on their brain. And I'm like, they kill you. So like, damn, it don't even make no sense. But that's what the doctors say. And I don't understand it, but it's because of further analysis through people. And the doctors want to act like there's nothing wrong, but there is something wrong when they hand you like books to read, like actual books, more than 2 pages. You know, they're like active heart failure. They just walk off. But they ask you if you want something to read. If you're bored and you want something to read. Like, can we just for some reading literature? And they just tray up. But that's their way of saying we don't want to talk to you about it. You know, you got questions, black lady. So instead, it's some reading material. And that's how that go down. Every time I wake up like kind of like in so much pain. Go to the restroom real fast. Then come back
Yeah,
out.
give them some time to think about it.
Yeah, go to the restroom fast. Then I'll grab something to eat. Jesse Pop get shot here, like a double shooter. Here, Jesse. And I took like a little switch to that, and I felt like it just went away. That pain just went away.
Yeah.
The headache went away, which sounds really dumb. And it sounds like somebody is an alcoholic. And I swear to God, I put it up there, baby. I swear to God, this motherfucker is not alcoholic. I do like to drink, but damn. I didn't even take a whole shot. I just wanted a little taste, you know what I mean? I know it sounds like an old wino thing right there. But let me just get a little taste. Just for a little taste, there's a little liquor right in here. But if you know me, you know I don't drink like that. You might have seen me killing some liquor on the show or something, but now it's once in a while, or I'm going through some things. Just was like, which box you a 211 and a double shooter. Again, I'm not a wino. It's like black shit right there.
Yeah. At least she wasn't off of 50. What was it? What was it, Shabaka? She was
KD.
No. She was off of 40 proof Hennessy. Some a beer and some wine. That elected official in Georgia.
Crying and shit on the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I don't really blame that sister. If I saw a whole bunch of white people trying to grab on me too, I'd freak out.
Yeah.
That's what they failed to admit. That's what she should have said.
Mm-hmm. But she's not. Shabaka, are you still with us?
Yeah.
That sister should have said, I woke up and there was a lot of white people yelling at me and grabbing on me.
Yeah.
And I didn't know where I was. And if I even so, I work long shifts. I drank a few brews or whatever. 5 drinks is nothing.
She drank Hennessy, guys, 40 proof Hennessy, beer, and wine. That was a recipe for disaster, guys.
The Hennessy part?
Yeah. All of it. That combination, that's
just started out with a good idea. And it ended up doing the worst shit. You got caught crying on camera.
Yeah. He got caught crying on camera and he got caught laying on the ground. Because he was so fucked up.
And she's dressed.
There's Mr. Sandman. Shabaka. Yeah, they got him. All right, Shabaka, well, we're going to get you.
Uh-oh.
Shabaka?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, now you are.
I'm here. Don't write me off just yet. You know, Sandman's winning this last round. I'm trying to cover up with the rope-a-dope.
Jesse can't be acting all proud now, like, you know, he's awake. Because yesterday, I had to wake his ass up.
Yeah.
Like, already shirtless and went to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the work that we do, we try to state the facts, and it requires a lot of work. Yeah, it does.
I sure do.
It sure does. So, what are y'all thoughts on this latest topic about the white supremacists?
Fuck them.
We got the form. I'm just going to be blunt.
Yeah.
We got to form our own military wing, man, you know, to defend our people, man, period. Because civil rights didn't work, man. You know, they selected the dump as a human shit. And what was to be expected? You know what I'm saying?
Who's got the pickiness?
I'm a crip.
It's 211.
It's a steel reserve.
It's 211. What is
211's coming?
In the state of California, 211 means a sticker.
It means that too, Shabaka, but it also means that.
It's like, if I live just like he don't even know me. Aww. I drink whatever. I drink whatever. I'm just messing with him. I like messing with him, get his blood pressure to raise a little bit. Like, think you might have wrote it down.
I'm right here.
I would say I want to put the Bernie Mac face on. And I see Nazis and be like, rest these shit. Yeah.
All right, so we're down to our last topic, and that is Ben Shapiro throws Candace Owens under the bus.
Okay, I only got 2 sentences to say on that, man. One sentence, actually. Fuck Candace Owens. Yeah, just listen to this monstrosity. Fuck Candace Owens. That's it. I mean, man.
You get no argument from me.
Yeah, no.
Sir, all thing she gonna do is just sit up there, supporting the dump as in human shit. And a woman of her intelligence is out of her fucking mind. And that's a paradox, which is a contradiction that is true.
She got a whole white man.
Whole white man for her husband.
Figures. I mean, the oil bed wench. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yep.
Went from being with the NAACP to this.
Yep. Talking about the whole reason everybody keep trying to float that fentanyl motherfucking propaganda about Mr. Floyd.
Oh my God, the stupid ass
She's the whole fucking reason.
The greatest lie ever told. Everything that come out your mouth, Candace Owens, is a lie.
It is.
But I like some of the attacks she get back when the trans people like start to holler at her. She's like, "Is there a question here?"
Oh, by the way, hold it. Glad you brought that up, Lady Che. Yeah, not cutting your wisdom on the brother Che. I just came, sir, tonight I came across this tidbit of information that the Miss Universe pageant is allowing transgender dudes to go in there and compete with bona fide women.
That's women abuse, Chewbacca.
It is.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Well, you know, when you look at Miss Universe or Miss America or Miss whatever pageant, man, you know, you look at Jiggly Wigglies, you know what I'm saying?
The universe pageant, the black women of the universe. Fine fuck, gentlemen. And I don't like women like that, but I'm just saying, all those sisters were fine as fuck. I really think they shouldn't have picked the tether for America. However, I have no saying that. The sister was a sister, and that's all that I need to say about it. But all of those women were
now, I'm going to tell you something. In 1970,
dark skin, black skin, dark skin, brown skin, dark skin, beautiful women. Like I was like, when this pageant come on? They should just called it the Black Women of the Universe. Instead of they should just said the Black Women of the Universe. That shit, their women was fine. Like I can't, man. I'm just saying it like you know, a man was. I was saying like, man, there were very, very beautiful women up there. And I was just like, they should have picked the tether for America. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. That was my one untrue negative. And you could tell that none of those sisters was packing a big old swiller tucked in somewhere. No, sir. They was all women.
All estrogen.
All ladies. All very, 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 very attractive.
All estrogen. So you saw estrogen everywhere.
Yep. None of them was packing a big old swiller. They was all black.
No testosterone inside.
There was so many beautiful fucking shades of black, from black Nubian to obsidian to brown to chocolate to dark brown to brown red bone to red bone. You know, no high yellow.
Whole spectrum.
Whole spectrum. I was like,
okay, well, see, that's great. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. But when you sit up there and get these confused ass dudes, okay.
Hell nah, this
woman's beauty pageant. No, I have to draw the line on that.
It was like that segment on
no
Maury.
Question. Those are all.
Remember
ladies.
that segment on Maury? Is this a man or is it a girl?
No swinging things there. No swinging things, guys.
Yeah, jiggly wigglies all over the place.
Yeah, they were so pretty, really beautiful women, really beautiful sisters right there. And I was like, go ahead, Brazil. All right, Mick. All right, DR. Oh, here comes Miss America for real. Use a fucking tether. They could, of all the beautiful foundation of Black American women, we had to find a tether. We got to do better over here, sisters. You know what I mean? We can.
Okay, well, first place, when you look at beauty pageants, look what they did to Vanessa Williams.
Yeah. Oh man, remember how fine she was then? That was a long time ago. I watched that pageant. I was a little girl. I watched that pageant with Vanessa Williams.
And then what happened with Ms. Williams is that no sooner than she won it, then they did a smear campaign on her. What happened was she had got caught up in that Hollywood confusion. And they had her in either Penthouse magazine or one of the quote-unquote adult magazines with her in some compromising photographs with her with another woman.
Man.
And that's why, that she had to relinquish it. And to me, that deal was just a real slap in the face. But however, Miss Williams, she used to be married to Rick Fox, who used to play for the Lakers. And Rick Fox was like about 28 and she was 42,
Yeah, no, she was beautiful. I was a little girl. I was sitting right in front of the TV. And I was like, look, Daddy, because my dad would watch the pageants. But look, Daddy, it's Vanessa Williams. She got a little French twist on. And like I was over there, I used to wear my hair French twist and French roll too. And I was like, look, Daddy, she got a little her hair done up, and she got her eyes out. She had her eyes out.
Yeah.
And then she got her, and the other day said, then I go let her win because she liked to get it, walked away. And I was like, God damn, don't hate her. But then she did win. I was like, see, I was wrong. But then he said later on when the photos came out, to see not all things are winning. And he just walked off. I was like, God damn it, Father. He was supposed to be honest with me. He's like, she gonna win because she likes it. And I was like, shit. I was like, because he knew, but he didn't know she did win. They did.
Yep. And then they went on and smeared Miss Williams,
They hated her.
Definitely. Yeah, they did. You see?
About her dress and shit, I think, right? They were trying to make Yeah, some shit like that happened. Oh, she had He's like, God damn, you never seen anybody like that.
And then and this is why and this is why like
art piece that day. All the sisters this year on the Miss Universe pageant when they showed a little commercial, it was like Paraguay, Dominican Republic, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, all the countries, right? And I was looking at her like, she's like Miss Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, right? I was just like looking around, I was like, well, goddamn, that was beautiful. I mean, I'm talking about like from brown to black to obsidian to blue black, you know what I mean? And back to brown. I was like, woo, woo, oh, women. I was like, woo, you know what I mean? Because that one thing, when that one thing won, and then white women was like, right? Looking at it like, if this big ass motherfucking ugly ass man thing won,
Right.
you couldn't tell that was a man. I don't know who everybody's stupid.
Right.
That motherfucker.
Yeah, well, on that, if they're gonna let them dudes in there, they need to boycott that. Every woman and everybody. I would say even more so the men folk boycott that shit.
Them sisters was not rocking no big old swiller or none of that. It was just straight ladies, all women. And I was just like, I got a little tear in my eye when you see beautiful sisters walking across the stage. You're like, finally, that's it. Finally.
Yeah, so I'm gonna move us along, y'all. We got one more topic, and that is Ben Shapiro and Candace.
Fuck them.
Yeah, I already said what I had to say about Candace Owens. Bed wench.
Well, this time.
Coonhead.
No, they're not usually beefing. It's they
Trump supporter. And I mean, ask yourself this: how is Candace Owens going to support the dump as in human shit? And I want to make that perfectly clear. When they took Omarosa and they physically threw her out of the White House.
Yeah.
They threw Omarosa out
and locked the doors.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And changed the locks. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was about her second year when Trump was in office in his second year. Yeah, well, they took Omarosa and I think she was the communications secretary or something along that line. And they was having a little meeting and she disagreed and they physically grabbed that woman and threw her out the White House.
Mm-hmm.
God damn.
Security.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You remember the movie with Chris Rock where he was running for president? Security.
Yeah.
That's how they be doing.
Yeah. Yeah. When Lynn Whitfield was in there.
Yep.
Yeah, and then he threw out Lynn Whitfield, you know.
Yeah, you talking about head of state, yep.
Yeah. That shit was funny as hell. And then when he got up there and told dude who was running for the president in the debate, he told him, man, you guys is full of shit. We listened to you fools for the last 8 years.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so he told him, right, you know, and this is why I always want to make it perfectly clear when I refer to the dump as in human shit. And I want to make that perfectly clear. Oh, yeah.
Our way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like the transvestite of Florida who wears women's underwear,
We still got our
panties.
Yeah, we still got the bet going.
We still got the bet going. So if you feel a real transsexual, go ahead and tap in and throw some bread at us. We do have our bet going, and we do have at least one actual female on the team right here. So go ahead and I will school you all day. Actually, I will question you and question you and question you. And you better get your motherfucking answers right. And then I really feel like questioning you. Pull your pants down.
Oh my God.
Pull your pants.
No, I wouldn't want to see
You
that.
lied to me. I wanted to be sure.
I mean, as we said, you know, they got to prove they bona fide menstrual cycle from themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to.
And you know, I know, and they know it is impossible. And this is why no one is taking up this bet.
Yeah, they know them Cabbage Patch Kids don't want none of
The bet's
this.
been going on for what? 3-4 years?
3-4 years now.
And then I added to the bet. I added some bread on the bet too. The last time I was mad, I forgot why I did it, but I was mad. Remember, I was mad. I was like, "Fuck that! You gonna add an extra rack?"
Yeah. That's Lady Trey. I think you did press the bet. Yeah, I think you did bump it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I said, "Fuck it." I added another 100 to your 100. That's 200. I mean, they bring that's 2 racks. They go Owens.
Yeah, exactly. And so far, we have not had nobody take us up on that wager. I wonder why.
Not even come up, even just try to test our gangster on it.
Yeah, I wonder why. And then, because that there would be like telling us right now that the sun is shining right now. Where
I gotta play the video, y'all. I gotta play the video. We're gonna be here for the rest of the night.
Rubbing on his chest while he eat pears and shit.
Okay, and it's 12:30 here where I'm at, so it's 1:30 where you guys are at.
Yeah, it's down there 1:30 here.
Yeah. Yeah, boy. Same man trying to talk to me.
We can definitely go to sleep after this.
Okay, let's hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Hell no. No.
Hello, what's going on?
Can't hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Video?
Let's see. Okay, hold on. I'm in the bed and the laptop is up on the desk right here. Look, I see Candace Owens up there.
Shapiro.
What happened?
Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah. Well, where he's throwing her under the bus. No,
That's how it's so.
okay.
Right.
Okay, he's throwing her under the bus. Okay. All right, what's he talking about? Because I don't see him saying anything. We're having technical issues.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
No, well, somebody's liking what we're doing here. Okay, we've got a brother here who's liking what we're talking about. Who went to Crenshaw High out of Los Angeles. Oh, he's out of South Central. All right, well, we got South Central in the house. Okay.
Oh, shit. I don't even see the comment, but okay, that's what's up. Thank you for staying up late with us.
Okay, what now? You guys are fading out.
The topic, is, I guess if I can see in the comments on this page.
Yeah, the topic is right here, frontline Black news. Right now.
Oh, it's showing. What the hell?
Okay, is this part of the shadow banding?
Oh, we went from him merely not acknowledging her right to say controversial things, which I thought the white right was fine with. I thought that was
the professor.
So now he's telling her if she doesn't like it, she can leave. Say, isn't Shapiro supposed to be the opponent of cancel culture? And here he is trying to cancel Candace Owens, who also claims to be against cancel culture, though she demands anything to the left of Nixon be removed from society entirely and made illegal. Obviously, nobody's rooting for either of these two poor excuses for human beings, though it does go to show the white right's rhetoric about freedom of speech is all a fraud. Whenever they claim everything must be sayable, that's a lie. What they mean is you can say anything about Black people. The more racist, the bigger the lie, the better. But if you criticize white power or do anything to make white power feel even inconvenienced, you got to be done away with. They don't even make a pretense of defending anything that they don't like. If they don't like it, it needs to be done away with. Freedom of speech, hell. Now, Owens responded to her zaddy, massa, boss, by writing, "You have been acting unprofessional and emotionally unhinged for weeks now, and we have all had to sit back and allow it and have all tried to exercise exceeding understanding for your raw emotion. But you cross a certain line when you come for scripture and read yourself into it. I will not tolerate it." Talk about biting the hand that feeds you and pats you on the head. Though I have to say it's a joke to read Owens talking tough, telling this white supremacist who she depends on for a check that she won't tolerate him, as if she thinks he works for her, as if she has the ability to exercise even the slightest influence over him. Okay, and what if BS keeps doing it then? What's Bucket Mouth Owens going to do about it? Nothing. All she can do is leave, assuming those good folks over there don't decide to show her the door first. She's the one being tolerated, not them. But this is what happens when these bootlicks like Owens hang around Massa for too long. They start to get confused and think that they have the same leverage as their paymasters, simply because they all repeat the same claptrap. This is what happens when performative extremism is how you make your money. You have to one-up each other when it comes to being bellicose and argumentative. Sure, it makes you look like an idiot, but belligerence is their brand, so they got to go. Like in Michael Jackson, each other, or pistols at sunrise. Let them fight out.
Okay. All right, everything here. This one's solid on this end right here. This one's silent. Yeah, but we do got some telemetry up there.
Chewbacca is just a clock ticking.
Yep.
I got kicked out. I'm back.
Oh, okay. You said, do I have a clock ticking?
Yeah, I hear a clock ticking.
What about now?
Yeah, I still hear it.
Damn.
Van Jones. There was a march in D.C. to support the Israeli government. And they had a number of speakers there, prominent Democrats.
Van Jones.
One of them was the white left's favorite black friend, Van Jones.
Remember, he got that $100 million from Bezos. Was it Bezos?
Yeah, it was Bezos or Musk, one of the two. It was it's one of the space rocket billionaires. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he got booed at March for Israel.
Okay, well that's good. As long as that tree gets booed anywhere, man. To me, he's worse than shit in the toilet.
Mm-hmm. Cry me a river, Van Jones.
Oh yeah, and then when that fool, the dump, as in human shit, got elected, I want to make this perfectly clear. He's gonna sit up there and cry.
Yeah.
Man, if any damn thing, that was a time to sit up there to be militant, man, not sitting up there crying.
Right.
I'm talking about, man, if a dude 22 years old to 24 years old got up there and spoke the truth and sacrificed his prime years of his career, okay, and did not cry, you see what I mean? That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, what's up with these niggas these days, man?
They're feminized.
Yeah, and then like you said, there's a new movie called Coon starring a majority of these motherfuckers, man. Yeah. I mean, you know, Van Jones sitting up there crying out the dump, you know, and Martin Luther King and civil rights and all that, man. Stand up and be a damn man, shit.
But he got the tag though, Shabaka. He got $100 million.
Yeah, and you ain't seen him since, you know.
No, he's been making his rounds. He was on Earn Your Leisure.
Well, oh, okay. Well, Van Jones here at Frontline Black News, sir, we could use $100,000. You gonna help us? We already know the answer. I'm just being sarcastic. Of course he's not.
Right. We go against everything he stands for.
Absolutely. Just like he goes against everything we stand for.
Yep.
Cooning, ass scratching, yassa bossing. You know, being a homie kind of nigga. You know what I mean?
They got him $10 million though.
Yeah, but there's an old saying, Brother Che, and all of us have played dominoes.
It ain't good money.
Yeah, all of us have played dominoes. All money ain't good money.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all are familiar with flat dice, you know.
Right. What the hell they give him? Oh my God, what the hell they give him $100 million for? So I'm gonna let it continue. It's about 8 more minutes left.
All right.
He's already blown through all that money that he got from Jeff Bezos because what he was doing felt like some sort of appeal for a show on CNN or for somebody to give him a job with how over the top he was being with his remarks. At one point in his speech, his train of thought derailed because he said, "Let's take a stand against Muslims." He actually said that, by the way. Hey, Van Jones, you're not supposed to say the quiet part out loud. He then went on to say that the Jewish community stood arm in arm with, I suppose, black people during the civil rights movement. Never mind that Jewish Americans also greatly benefited from the civil rights movement in the form of laws banning religious discrimination. Yep. And also Jewish activists like Goodman and Schwerner, who died in Mississippi, they never claimed to be representatives of the Jewish faith. They did their activism as an act of personal principle on their part. And as I've stated numerous times before, you had black men like Walter White and Ralph Bunche who were key to helping Israel get officially recognized as a state by the UN and to negotiate a peace agreement when the Arabs had Israel surrounded and on the verge of defeat. This is something you never hear from Ben Shapiro. You never hear this from Rabbi Shmuley or Alan Dershowitz or Benjamin Netanyahu or any of these other zealots who claim that they care about Israel so much. They can't even be honest about Israel's origins. Someone should be acknowledging the black community's efforts for that, but it won't be Van Jones, and nobody else at that rally did either. To tell history as if Jews were just sticking up for black people gives the false impression that black people were just sitting back, mere beneficiaries of help, when in reality, black people gave more than we received. But I'm sure that Van Jones was embarrassed when he said that there needs to be a ceasefire, and that tolerant, peaceful crowd began to boo him loudly. Rather than admonish them for braying for blood, he instead just continued as if nothing had happened. Van Jones wants the hostilities to stop, but a lot of people in that crowd just wanted for him to stop talking. So it doesn't matter if it's on the white right or the white left. When these bootlick Negroes go talking out of turn, saying something Massa don't like, Massa slaps them down quick and makes it a point to be rude about it, to let them know that they can stop pretending to be their friend at the drop of a hat. When you choose to be a bootlick, even a well-paid one, it's understood that the job description calls for you taking abuse with a smile. Candace Owens is talking back, I guess because she dressed down Stephen Chowderhead and none of the white men she works for criticized her for it. She thinks that she can do the same thing to them too, and they're letting her know she can't. Likewise, Van Jones thinks that little old check he got from Jeff Bezos means that he's an honorary member of the white elite, and that he can give even mild resistance or a token exception to the prevailing opinion, and it won't be a big deal. And he found out that's not true either. Not that this will make any difference with either one of them. When you've been kissing behinds for as long as they have, you're not really qualified or equipped to do anything else. Now, Van Jones made it a point to go to a rally in D.C. to support a foreign country. But when foundational Black Americans had a march for reparations in D.C., he didn't show up for that. He didn't give a peep of support, didn't say a word about it. Nothing. He hasn't done anything for reparations or any other issue of real significance to the Black community. He does these politically correct, approved of gestures that his white paymasters tell him to do. The same people who gave him a White House job and then took it away, and then gave him some token guest panelist gig on CNN, and then made him cry live on air, and then threw him some crumbs. Though you got to give Van Jones credit, even with a mouthful of butter biscuits, he still has room to put his foot in there too. Now, this is the reason white power gave him all that money. It's why they still keep him around. We have to make it a point to remember these bootlicks and how they consistently ignore our interest, and they represent everyone except for us. All the times Black people have been attacked and slaughtered in this country without anyone being punished, without any sort of reparations. Van Jones didn't put that in his speech. He didn't say Black people and Jews have something in common. We both know what it means to be terrorized by gun-wielding gangs of terrorists. See, when people from other groups come to talk to us, they make sure to shoehorn in some comment or statement about what they want and what their interests are. They make themselves the center of attention. Bootlicks, on the other hand, don't dare say anything. And that's the real crime here. Black people were responsible for the establishment of Israel and saving it from the first Arab invasion. Without Black people, there would have been no state of Israel. And even if there had been, without Black people, it wouldn't have lasted long. And what has Benjamin Netanyahu or any Israeli prime minister or government official ever said to stick up for Black Americans? Nothing. When Black people were protesting back in 2020, did the Israeli government send its diplomats and spokespeople to take our side? Did they stick up for us? Any rallies of support from the government of Israel? No. Though while all those protests were going on, they did make sure to send a member of their consulate to say that young Black people were the major problem that Israel faces.
The major problem of Israel is with the young generation of the Black community. Black Lives Matter starts there. I had last week a dinner, sit-down dinner at my house with 40 people, which are considered the leadership of the Black community. And it's very important people. They can be part of our doing an activity.
Now, Judith Schroer did make sure to say that she had a dinner with people she called Black leaders. These are Negroes who white power made prominent, put them on TV, gave them a government job. No power, they have no influence. Problems they're having with young Black people. See, they've been giving all this money to the Van Jones of the world, and he can't influence anyone because no Black person takes him seriously. But why is a member of the Israeli government saying that young Black people are the major problem for Israel. She didn't even say a major problem when she said the problem that Israel faces. It wasn't young Black Americans who attacked Israel. Black Americans have never attacked Israel. Black Americans are the only reason that Israel even exists. And yet this woman who owes her job and her country to Black Americans claims that Black Americans are the major problem for Israel, and nobody there stopped her, disagreed with her, or corrected her. This is why Black people need to stay out of this latest war in Israel. Nobody over there is on our side, least of all the Israeli government. It's just another brawl to see which one of them will be calling the shots over there. Van Jones speaks for no one but himself, and given the reception that he received at that rally, he's barely doing that. Candace Owens might get the heave-ho after all this is over. The same way that Skip Bayless found an empty-headed Negro willing to sit across the table from him, there's a few unscrupulous Negroes who are drooling for the chance to get BS to hand them a couple of crumbs. Well, I'm sure I speak for the entire Black grassroots when I say that just like Shapiro and the people at that rally, I don't respect Candace Owens or Van Jones, and none of us would mind at all if both of them just shut up. Good day, and be one. I'd like to take a moment to mention some of our contributors: Kenneth Dickerson, Joyce Blizzard, Morris Bodden, Wally Bilal, and Bobby Ross. Salute to them, and thank you to everyone for listening, liking, and sharing this message. Black empowerment only exists because of you.
So former Baltimore prosecutor Marilyn Mosby,
the professor speaks,
has been convicted of federal perjury. Now, it stems from a case where during the pandemic, she took money from her own 401k that they was allowing people to get money from their 401k, and she said she had a hardship at the time. But it said that she didn't have a reduction in pay during that time, and she used the money to purchase, a home in Florida. I think it was 2 homes, matter of fact, in Florida. And they also accused her of mortgage fraud because they say she lied on the application. Because I guess there was part of the application it's going to be a single family home, or you're going to use it for rent, or Airbnb, or whatever. And she put down it's supposed to be a single family home, but she turned around and was doing something else with her own property. So they charged her for that. Let's go ahead and roll that.
I'm blessed. I have nothing else to say. Ms. Mosby, were you surprised by the verdict?
That was the extent of the reaction from former City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby, shortly after a jury found her guilty on all counts. 2 perjury charges that the jury deliberated for about 6 hours before deciding on.
Any comment on the verdict?
Mr. Wider, what are the next steps? Mosby's 2 federal public defenders had no comment for reporters, and her 3rd defense attorney, Lucius Outlaw, ran away from our camera when we tried to talk to him.
Was it a surprise that it was about 6 hours of deliberations? There was no questions that we know of?
The verdict of victory for the federal government. This comes nearly 2 years after Mosby was charged in a 4-count indictment.
Mr. Zelensky, this was a big victory. Do you have any comment? Mr. Delaney?
But prosecutors declined to speak with us on their way out of court, and a spokesperson for the U.S. Attorney's Office briefly explained why.
We are not, no. I still have 2 costs pending. Can you give us any information about the next step, scheduling or anything?
Conference.
Do we know when that's going to be?
No, she didn't schedule it.
Now, I'm a firm believer of what can we learn here. Who did she cross? But what we can learn is, one way to not have them people, having your money in a 401k, you can start your own IRA, individual retirement account, or you can just put your money in a savings account, and you just have the discipline to leave your money there. But some people just do an IRA, right? Because maybe you want access to your money for whatever the reason. But they said that her 401 was restricted, very, very restricted, and she still got money out of it anyway, right? So you look at how, all these cases that have been going here lately against these Black, politicians. You look at Eric Adams right now. Feds ran up on him and seized his phones and iPad and all that. They gave it back to him, but, all kind of issues are starting to happen now that we see. But Marilyn Mosby going to have to go to trial for the mortgage fraud, because she got 2 counts of mortgage fraud. Boy. These people here. That's why I tell people, when you get to certain levels, you got to really, watch yourself. You really do, because you cross certain people, and them folks will come after you. That's why some people tell me, "Oh, Phil, you go into politics." And nope. Number one, I believe in too much righteousness, and they'll get me jammed up. I rather do some politics. If I do politics, I prefer to do that outside this country, in a black nation, in this place, because this place here is way too much corruption.
This news is funded by viewers like you. Please support our work at democracynow.org/give. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org. I'm Amy Goodman. We end today's show in Atlanta, Georgia, where people from around the country joined in a week of action to stop the massive $90 million police training complex known as Cop City.
They're throwing tear gas into the crowd. They're throwing munitions. Yeah, that's tear gas.
On Monday, police attacked peaceful protesters with tear gas, pepper balls, flashbang grenades as over 400 marched toward the sacred Huilani Forest, the proposed site for Cop City. Participants included the parents of the environmental defender Manuel Esteban Terán, known as Tortuguita, who was fatally shot by Georgia state troopers during a raid on the Stop Cop City protest encampment in January. This comes as activists have been organizing for a citywide referendum on the project, which officials have tied up in court. Meanwhile, 61 people facing RICO or racketeering and domestic terrorism charges appeared in court this month as the state tries to characterize them as militant anarchists. Al Jazeera's Fault Lines recently covered all of this in their report, Now You're a Terrorist, Atlanta's Cop City Crackdown. Sharif Abdel-Qaddous spoke to environmental activist Sarah Wasilewski, one of the dozens charged with domestic terrorism for protesting Cop City. She described the January morning when Georgia law enforcement officers violently raided their protest encampment when state troopers shot and killed Tortuguita.
So I was sleeping in a hammock with my partner at the time. We woke up around like 8, maybe quarter till 8 in the morning.
Sarah Wasilewski had traveled from Pittsburgh to Atlanta and joined the protest for the weekend.
So we were just laying in bed talking, and then all of a sudden we heard and saw just like 15 or so police in full military like combat gear, like with AR-15s, just like coming through the woods directly at us. We were waiting to be put into a transport vehicle, and that's when I heard gunshots. I screamed when I heard it, and the police officer that like had me also responded like, oh, like they knew something bad happened.
While Sarah was being arrested, a team of officers killed Tortuguita in a barrage of gunfire.
Sharif Abdel-Qaddous also spoke to indigenous forest defender Victor Puertas in a video call inside ICE's Stewart Detention Center in Lumpkin, Georgia, where Puertas was held for over 7 months since his arrest. After being released on bond from DeKalb County Jail, Puertas was immediately taken into custody by ICE.
After weeks of negotiations with the detention center, we were able to speak to Victor by video call.
Hello.
Hi, Victor. This is the first time he's spoken to the media since his arrest.
It feels like you're living a completely parallel life, you know, like your life stopped the moment that you got arrested, and now you have to make meaning of all this, you know.
And why is this movement so important to you, Victor?
I care about the land, I care about the people, I care about life, I care about the water, you know, I deeply care about those things. I grew up in that way, I was raised in that way.
So what do you think it does to a movement when the state labels it as a violent extremist organization and then charges its participants, like you, with domestic terrorism?
You know, you don't believe it first, you know, and then you realize, yeah, actually they're like passing these kind of laws, you know, to target certain groups of people. What's happening here in Georgia, in Atlanta, it will have a repercussion all over the country.
For more, we're joined by two guests. Sharifa Belkadous is still with us, correspondent for this Al Jazeera Fault Lines report. And Kamau Franklin is joining us, founder of the organization Community Movement Builders, who's been part of the now 2-year movement to stop Cop City. We welcome you both back to Democracy Now! Kamau, for the latest news of this week, over 60 people in court, many of them charged with domestic terrorism. Can you talk about the significance of what this means? As we heard this woman say, domestic terrorism and how it affects their whole lives.
Yes, thanks for having me. I mean, this issue goes to the heart of the militarization of the police and the criminalization of movements. What we're witnessing in Atlanta is a rebirth of the COINTELPRO movement to stamp out organizers and activists, to scare people into not speaking up and participating in movements. You have people who came to Atlanta who previously were not involved in any Cop City activity, but who happened to get rounded up by police. And the police looked at IDs, and if they had Georgia IDs, they let them go. If they had out-of-state IDs, they arrested them and charged them with domestic terrorism, and later added on the charge of RICO. So you have people whose lives have been turned upside down, people who've been engaged in acts, some people who've been engaged in acts of simple civil disobedience by sitting in tents, by sitting in tree huts, who now, again, have domestic terrorism charges and RICO charges. And so, as you stated, and as the documentary was saying, people's lives have been turned upside down because of the state's attempt to criminalize and brutalize activists and organizers who are working against police violence in our city.
Can you talk about the range of opposition? I mean, it's not just one group. It's people who are deeply concerned about police brutality. It's also religious leaders, indigenous leaders. Talk about the area where it's being built.
Yeah, one of the things about this movement has been, since the very beginning, it's been vast in its outreach. Everything from community organizers like myself, environmentalists, religious leaders, voting rights activists, yes, including anarchists, other people who are community members who've been engaged in this because they see two things happening. One is what we spoke about a couple of seconds ago, is the continued over-policing of Black and brown communities that will be happening if Cop City is built. Two is the attack against movements, which is the very reason why this vast militarized facility is even being proposed. And then three is the environmental degradation of the Weelaunee Forest, which is going to be ripped apart. Over 300 acres have been rented at $10 a year. 90 acres have already been cut down. This forest has been promised to a working class adjacent Black community for use of park space, for camping space, for trails, walking trails. All of those plans were ripped away as soon as they decided to put Cop City in. It's already caused environmental degradation in the neighborhood, and that will continue to happen as they go forth with their plans to try to build Cop City.
And what about the referendum? What's happened to it? An Atlanta-wide referendum so people could decide.
The city of Atlanta, along with the clerk's office, the mayor's office, the city council, have basically sat on this referendum. They've done nothing to move this forward, even though the organizers who did this, we collected over 116,000 signatures. The city council and the clerk's office could have started verifying these signatures as soon as we turned them in, but they decided to halt that process and to not do it. Further, the city council on its own could put a referendum on the ballot without even considering the signatures. And again, they have failed the city of Atlanta. They failed the people in Atlanta by allowing the people to decide. People, again, over 116,000 signatures of people saying that they want to vote on this, they want a voice on this, but the city has ignored it because it prefers to do backroom deals with corporations and with the Atlanta Police Foundation and with the police themselves and the state government. You have here a right-wing, white Republican state apparatus teaming up with a so-called liberal, moderate, Democratic Black mayor apparatus. And the things that they agree upon most is how to protect cops and capitalism. And that's what's happening right now. And the referendum is being put on ice so that they can't be voted upon by the people in Atlanta.
Sharif, you spoke to Belkis Teran, the mother of the forest defender Manuel Esteban Paez Teran, known as Tortuguita, who was killed by Georgia police in January. Belkis traveled to Georgia from Panama, where she lives. And we can just play a short clip.
I really don't believe anything what they say. I think they are lying. And there is nothing new. Everybody knows that.
The county medical examiner didn't find any gunshot residue in Gita's hands. And an independent autopsy suggests that Tortuguita was shot while seated with hands raised.
Manuel really was pacifist. He disliked the police very much, but not to kill anybody or to try to kill anybody. Manuel's life and message is to save the world, to save the green areas, to take care of the oceans.
Sharif, one of the first people we hear in your Fault Lines documentary, Now You're a Terrorist, is the mother of Tortuguita, Belkis Teran. Your overall take from down and seeing what people were confronting here and now what they're being charged with. I mean, that's not to say Tortuguita, who was killed.
Right. Well, I think what's important to note about the movement to stop Cop City and defend the Atlanta forest is its resilience. It's brought together, as you mentioned, abolitionists, environmentalists, indigenous rights leaders, religious leaders, a multifaceted resistance movement against this massive planned police training center. And the movement's lasted well over 2 years now. It's still going despite this massive amount of state repression against it. And what we try and document in the documentary is that many of these there's a crackdown on even lawful political activities, and lawyers say this is unprecedented. That it's basically criminalizing political association. The indictment, where 61 people are charged in this wide-ranging racketeering case, the ACLU called the theory, and it basically relies on people's beliefs and community organizing as the basis for the sweeping criminal liability. And just finally, as we're talking internationally too, there's protests by the Stop Cop City movement in support of Palestine as well, and against what's called the Georgia International Law Enforcement Exchange, or GILEE, where law enforcement officers from Atlanta, from across the state and the U.S. travel to Israel to receive training from Israeli police forces. Israel's long taken these strategies and techniques that are honed on the Palestinian body and then exported them abroad. And so we see these ties between Israel and police forces in Atlanta.
Sharif Abdel-Quddus, he is the reporter on Now You're a Terrorist, the Fault Lines documentary. You can watch it online. And Kamal Franklin of Community Movement Builders. Democracy Now! Is funded by viewers like you. Please give today at democracynow.org/give.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think some people need to admit they should not drink, they should not be drug addicts. They need to put stuff down, because when your whole personality and demeanor changes when you have a drink, then it is time to admit you got a problem and get some help. So this story that I'm about to go into is a Georgia lawmaker. And she just got relieved of her vice chair position that she had, and she's upset and she's suing. But there is footage of her sloppy drunk out there on the streets. In fact, she passed out on the sidewalk, as you can see in the still shots there. So, a Georgia lawmaker found allegedly passed out on the streets is suing the county for booting her as vice chair. Well, that's embarrassing. You know, you do represent the people when you are a politician. At least you're supposed to. But in America, politicians really don't do that. They don't represent the people at all. So, a former Georgia lawmaker is planning to sue Clayton County for booting her from her vice chair position after she was filmed screaming at medics who allegedly found her passed out drunk outside of a sports bar. Felicia Franklin announced that she is filing the suit after county officials voted unanimously to dismiss her from her position as a board of commissioners vice chair over the September altercation, which was recorded on police worn body cam, according to the wow. Let me just show you the video, y'all. Let me just show you the video.
You need to stop.
Felicia.
You're going to make it worse than what it needs to be.
Felicia.
Gotta get him out my face. I don't give a get him out my face. You better.
Wow.
Get him out my face. You better get him out my face.
Ma'am, you're about to go to jail.
I don't give a get him out my face. You get him out my face.
Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, you know, I grew up in a city. And when you grow up in the city, especially in the hood, you will see people like this. I used to live across the street from a family, and not only was the father a drunk, some of the kids in the household were drunks too. And this family used to get pissy drunk and come out on the streets and get into big brawls on the street drunk. And I remember we always knew when this man had his payday. He would come stumbling up the street drunk, and we knew, okay, he got paid today. His wife used to be, oh man, we used to call her Miss Doris. Miss Doris would be fired up mad because, you know, they had a family with 4 kids and he's out there drinking the money away. She used to be fuming mad at him for coming home like that. But he did almost every single payday. He came home stumbling down the street drunk. And he was one of them people, when he was drunk, he would cuss you out. And then one time, there was a trash can turned over on its side. He stood in front of this trash can and cussed the trash can out like it was a person. Now, I mean, we all laughed and got a chuckle out of it, but in a way it was a shame because at that time his kids were, he had a few kids older than me, but he also had a son that was younger than me. And it was a shame because they had to witness their father like that, you know? And like I said, when they all got drunk, they used to be on that street acting the fool. So when I saw this, it brought all of that back to my memory. So this is a lawmaker, Felicia Franklin, down there in Georgia. She was dismissed from her board of commissioner vice chair because of this. This video came out And it was the police that had the entire thing on a body cam, and it was released. And so she is suing to get her position back. Y'all, you are a politician. If you saw this woman, would you vote for her after looking at that? I wouldn't. I wouldn't vote anyway, but I'm just saying I wouldn't. So she got a lawsuit that the traumatic and unfortunate incident outside of the 404 Sports Bar and Grill in Morrow came after she was drugged with date grape. This is what she said. I mean, it could be true, y'all. I mean, she was in a sports bar. This is what she said happened. The suit claimed that her evening took a turn for the worse, and she was found crying and clearly vulnerable on the ground when the police arrived. So she was down on the ground. But Sergeant Scott Stewart of Morrow Police Department said, "We found no evidence to support that she was drugged with GHB." So she's claiming she was. They're saying she wasn't. He said officers have reviewed security footage showing Franklin walking alone into the sports bar and ordering several drinks. She had probably 3.5, 4 drinks, then a swig of beer, Stewart told Fox 5. Police claim the footage shows Franklin had 3. That's a home run drink that contained 40 proof Hennessy. Darn woman. Wow. And she also had a glass of wine, a swig of beer. So she had several drinks, y'all. So by the time police arrived, body cam footage showed her lying on the ground outside of the bar. Officers could be seen lifting her up onto a gurney as she remained unconscious before she started screaming, crying, and cussing at the first responders, as you saw in the video. So at one point, Franklin could be seen shouting, "I don't know what you gave me." She could also be seen hitting an EMT in the ambulance and repeatedly yelling at him to get the F out of her face. When the officer told her, "Ma'am, you're about to go to jail," she said, "I don't give an F. Getting him out of my face. Get him out of my face. Get him out of my face." So she also cried, "Don't leave me. Don't leave me," as she was transported to a local hospital where she was transferred to a bed and became even more agitated, calling out for her mother. In the aftermath, another video of Franklin being questioned by police shows cops confronting her with receipts proving that she had more drinks than she initially claimed. "I didn't have 5 drinks. I had 5 drinks. I don't remember having 5 drinks." Oh my goodness. She said in response, claiming the other drinks listed were for other people. Okay, so I'd like to know what other people, because they said they got the video of her walking in there alone and walking out of there alone. So what other people? Investigators said they could not find any evidence of anyone tampering with her drinks, and claimed a toxicology report found cannabis also in her system. She refused a blood test, but she did have a urinalysis, and wow, she tested positive for cannabis. Wow. So they said the news spread like wildfire about Franklin on October 1st, She claims she was drugged at the bar, and they're saying no. They watched a video inside the bar. They did not see anybody tampering with her drink. I will be working closely with authorities to ensure that justice is served, and I will be advocating for improved safety measures at events like these, as she claimed. No one should have to go through what I experience, and I want to thank all of you for your support during this challenging time. So she's trying to play up this stuff about somebody tampered with her drink. That's what she's claiming. So, ladies and gentlemen, just looking at that video, I don't know how she gonna get her job back as vice chair. I don't know how she I don't know how she gonna get that job back. I really don't. So apparently they took a vote and unanimously she was voted out of her chair. Additional sanctions and were placed on her in the best interests of the county, citing behavior unbecoming of the position, county officials said in a statement. The resolution notes that the board finds its citizens expect its elected officials to behave in a manner which brings a positive reflection on the citizens, businesses, and employees of the county, and claims that Franklin's action as vice chair are unbecoming of the position. So she lawyered up. I don't know what exactly she's going to win, what she's going to win in this situation. But, one thing, at least she was not behind the wheel of a car. It could have been far worse that night if she had. I guess in the whole grand scheme of things, it was better for her to be down on that ground than behind the wheel, attempting to drive home and end up wrapped around a pole or possibly killing someone.
Yeah.
So, y'all, please tell me what you think about this story. This is absolutely crazy. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.
Oh my God, it's after 2 o'clock. Okay. Like, give us your closing. Okay. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to season 3, episode 33, part 3 of the Frontline Black News. We'll be back Saturday for a brand new episode. And then make sure y'all check us out. Today it is now for Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. That number is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. So make sure y'all call tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Mountain and 6 p.m. Pacific. Stay black, stay dangerous, stay empowered. Keep your head on a swivel, back family. We are at war. It's time to start busting back. So peace, love, light, reparations, and separations, and black empowerment. We will see y'all later for Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. Make sure y'all like Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced on the X, Twitter.
Yeah. And the Twitter handle is at Shabaka capital EXP.
Yep. So we'll see y'all later on today. We're talking about the Voting Rights Act of 1965 possibly being gutted. So we'll see y'all then. Peace.
All right. Always. Okay.